You're talking about all men. Woo! Woo! I love China.
Oh yeah, people of the night, you know what it's all about. I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you're watching this transmission. Whether you're watching us from your condo in the sky or your cabin in the woods, or just couch surfing, or maybe on a road trip, or on your lazy boy. People of the night, welcome to Mike in the Night. It's 3 a.m. and something's moving you, so crack open a window, sit back, relax, get some coffee, tea, or maybe get a little bit of lemon water like myself here, because you're tuned in to Mike in the Night. Voice of the Commonwealth. Just when you think it's done, just when you can't go on. Tag along tonight on Mike in the Night. Let's talk it through. Hashtag Mike in the Night. Intro track by Ralphie.co.New Zealand. Today's an interesting show. Wake up. It's called Wake Up. Wake up, world. Wake up. So we got Mike in BC is commenting, sad day for Canada, arrest of Arturo Pawlowski. And very, very sad news. Mike busting out the Kango hat. No, it's not a Kango. This actually came out before Kango did. So way before that. So comments are rolling nice. Wow, we already have 70 people watching this thing. Wow. Thanks for tuning in, guys. A voice of the Commonwealth, Mike in the Night. We got a show and a half for you guys, and I don't know how to put things. I like the perspective of things, of what just trying to make sense of it all, right? And it's really hard to find your niche or find someone you could talk to about what's going on around you. 90% of the people, 90, not 9, 90% of the people have no clue what's going on. They think they do, which is fantastic. Hey, I think I know what's going on too. And you watching this, you think you know what's going on too. That's great. But a lot of them are just strutting. Like that song, I don't know if you know that Fatboy Slim song. I can't play it here on the show, but they know what is what, but they don't know what is what. They just strut. What the... Yeah. They just strut. And I guess follow the masses. And I've been talking about this for a long time. The concern that I have that people don't negotiate for themselves anymore. It's like trying to say, you know what, guy, I'm not interested in that yet. Instead of saying, experts today announced, who are these experts? Who is the expert that is announcing? What experts? My favorite is when you read an article that says 79% of Americans. Who do they ask? 4 people on the street? What's 79% of Americans? It's getting so obvious that you can't think for your... People are not allowed. Well, maybe I'm asking the wrong questions. Are people allowed to think for themselves anymore? That's the question. Maybe I should ask that question. Are we allowed to think for ourselves? That's maybe the way I should paraphrase that, because the way I'm asking it, too many people, there are a lot of quiet. There's a lot of silence out there. There's a whole sect of people that are very silent right now, and I'm kind of wondering what's going to happen, or when is it going to turn on a dime. Canada's in a lot of trouble because I think Florida will take Canada right down. With what's happening in Florida and the transitioning in Florida, quick transitioning in Florida, real quick in a heartbeat, and now they're auditing death certificates in Florida, Canada's in a lot of trouble. England is kind of out. England's kind of lucky right now because the mayoral elections for London went through, I think, today. So they had this mail-in ballot, they had this whole thing going, and they got who they wanted to get in. When you see who got in, you'll be like, oh, okay, good. The mail-in ballots worked for that. There's too much of a gap between Canada and American elections. Canada would love to push this for the next 4 years so they could get into the next election, mail-in ballots, because that's what they've been hinting at, mail-in ballots. That's all they've been hinting at. For forever, they've been hinting at mail-in ballots. The Liberals in Canada try to have a snap election, and why would you have a snap election during a pandemic? Oh, but all these sites are dangerous to go in and vote in person. Yeah, it's a pandemic. So why are they promoting a snap election? They brought it up the other day again. Another snap election. But we need to have mail-in ballots. You saw what happened in America with mail-in ballot system. The most approved president or most voted for president in the history of the world. Everywhere he goes, he gets booed. He goes to the Super Bowl, he gets booed. Anywhere he goes, he gets booed. That's weird. That's the weirdest thing. Okay, the comments are rolling. I don't ask permission to think for myself. That's right, Wade the Scrapper. So Craig Cook is saying we have Chinese warships in our harbor. That's out of New Zealand there. I wanted to ask anyone down in New Zealand, there's an article that's floating around that they're going to have mandatory vaccines in New Zealand. And I kind of want to know if that's going to happen there. I kind of want to know if that's going to be a thing there. I'm not too sure what's going on there. So, anyways, guys, you're tuning into a great show. Let's do a really quick channel plug, and we're on our way to tonight's stories and call-ins. Guys, let's get everybody, turn your Skypes on. If you don't have me on Skype, add me on Skype, Mike Martins 1980. Mike Martins 1980. Add me on Skype and come on the show and be part of the discussion. All right, guys, here we go. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, be part of the channel. We have a lot of legendary guests that came on this channel. We had Heisa Says, we had Peter Leeds, we had Uneducated Economist, we had Tony from God Rules, we got Christina Smallhorn, we even had Steve Soretsky on, Alaska Prepper. Check out our channel, subscribe, be part of the channel, and be part of this small community we have here, but it's so unified that it actually makes this divide they're making jealous. I don't know if that made any sense. Guys, don't forget to set your reminders for next week's show, for Wednesday's show, where we're going to get... a lot of people from the States said they want to call in, because a lot of people are going basically bankrupt. People are going to be out in the streets. And with them striking down that support, where basically they're going to be evicting people now. It's done. A judge struck it down, I think, in Washington or New York. I'm not sure where, but it was struck down. So they're not going to extend free rent, I guess, or whatever for this whatever. I don't even know what's happening. I honestly don't know what's going on anymore. Let's go here. This is next week's show. We want your soul. What do they want from us? So this is live in 6 days, guys. I'm going to leave a link here for you guys to tune in for next week's show. It could be about anything because that's how the show rolls. Guys, I want to thank everyone that's been buying I Love Amerifornia sweaters and t-shirts on Teespring. Thank you so much. I Love Amerifornia. And it says the Mike Martins channel at the bottom. We got it made, and people were complaining that it doesn't say the Mike Martins channel, so it says it here. I got it made like that for you guys. And there you go. Guys, you need to send me your messages on Instagram. Instagram, for some reason, does not censor my messages that you guys send me. Woo! Blunt News sent me $1.99. Thank you. And he's saying game over. Okay, artbydano.com. Check out his new release section. I'm going to leave a link there if you guys want to check it out. artbydano.com. He's got some pretty cool stuff there in this place. You're tuned in to Mike in the Night. People of the Night. All right. The sun's setting here on my end, so I'm going to get a little bit of sun glare here in the face. I should have fixed those curtains, but that's okay. You guys are not here for the sunlight. You guys are here for the talk. All right, let's get over to our stories and headlines. We're going to go over a few headlines, and we're going to start taking in a few calls. I'm going to go over this. This is a major issue for Canada right here. This is such a major issue for Canada because Canada is pushing this huge word. This is so serious. This is the biggest thing that ever happened. This is dangerous, and this is so bad. Florida vaccine passport ban could mean trouble for cruises. Norwegian cruise line threatens to leave Florida. Good. Let me tell you why that's good. Norwegian cruise lines needs Florida. Florida doesn't need Norwegian cruise lines. Trust me. Trust me on this. Especially from Norway. A lot of people, like during the Olympics when I was in Vancouver, a lot of people that came from like the northern Baltic parts of Europe came into my shop, my business, and were looking for freebies of free stuff for stuff. Like, no. So, yeah. So, a vaccine, Norwegian Cruise Lines threatens to leave Florida. That's good. Can we get a round of applause? Oh, we don't have a, all right, let's get a woo in here. Woo! So there it is, Norwegian Cruise Lines. This is good for Florida because they're stepping up their game. It's not about the money, it's about the people. So there's stuff everywhere, and like they're not taking care of this anymore. I don't know why YouTube is under community. They're putting stuff from 3 days, a week ago. There's Lord Humongous with a dirt bike t-shirt he picked up. Looks very good. And China suspends economic dialogue with Australia indefinitely amid spat over Belt Road Initiative. You know, if I was Australia, I would never bend over back for China ever again. I would never, ever. Oh, we just, it's against the fabric of our culture that we just don't deal with communists. We don't believe in the communist culture. We don't believe in, the communist culture destroys, the communist regime destroys culture. Let's put it that way.
It's so hard for me to sit back here.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So who do we got here? We got Margie O. We got Spider Jerusalem in the house. We got Sheeple in the house. Woo! Craig Cook in the house from New Zealand. We got Lord Humongous from Colorado. From Denver, outside of Colorado. We got outside of Denver in Colorado. In Denver, outside of Colorado. No, in Colorado, outside of Denver. Yeah. Is that how? Yeah. I always get that mixed up. What else? Okay, so let's keep going here. So Facebook could go to hell. Facebook permanently blacklists LifeSite News. Anybody that comes out of the status quo. Look at this guy. I think they should blacklist this guy's face from everywhere. Every time, if I want a boogeyman in my closet, right there. My kid told me the other day. He said, "Daddy, what does the boogeyman look like?" Right there. I showed him that picture. I'm not kidding. I showed him the picture. Whoa, scary. Yeah, oh yeah, that thing's scary. Look at that. Big news. Big judge overturns national eviction moratorium. This is from the channel here that King Cash YouTube that watches us from time to time. So Colombia, mainstream media is keeping this quiet. Colombia, demand grows as Colombia holds 8th day of mass protests. This is major. But the good news of this is no one's getting COVID. No one's dying of COVID from this. And this is major for Canada. And Australia Australia kind of follows a lot of that fake news, so they don't get, like, the filtered stuff that should be getting out. So now Canada's screwed. They want to keep lockdowns here till late 2023 and borders closed till 2023. Nothing to see here, folks. Well, what am I talking about? Nothing. Governor DeSantis signs order to end all lockdown and COVID-19 restrictions in Florida. Florida's fed up. They're just like, you know what? We're done with this BS. So we asked you guys on a poll, which leader is doing a terrible job? Joe Biden at 30%. This is over 400 votes, people. So a lot of people weighed in on this. Joe Biden, 30%. 52%. Holy, an overwhelming 52%. Goes to JT in Canada, Justin Trudeau, and then 7% to Scotty Morrison in Australia, 5% to Jacinta Ardern in New Zealand, and Boris Karloff, there, 5%. So Colombian outcry, we got a live stream going last Tuesday from someone in Colombia, and what else do we have on here? So we asked people have they taken the jab yet. 9% says, why, yes, of course. 2% says, I had to for work. 71% says, nah, I'll pass. 18% says, I will after 5 years of testing. So here it is. Apparently, 74% of Canadians approve this. This is what the article says. Canada will require using a vaccine passport for entry. This is absolutely terrible. This is terrible news. And Canada's in a little bit of a jam because a lot of the states that border Canada are liberal. So those states will require to come across. I think Michigan. Vermont. I'm just trying to think what the New York. All those states to get in from Canada, they'll be like, oh, we want a COVID passport too. Too bad Florida didn't border Canada so we could just go and never come back, right? So that's kind of scary if you're living in Canada. And so this is from 3 days ago, and I said, congratulations, you suck. And let's get a fart soundboard for this one. Wet fart. Okay, here we go. Congratulations, you suck. Pfizer forecasts $26 billion annual sale of COVID vaccine. Hold on, I got something for that. Reverb fart. Okay, there you go. Beer money. States and cities offer incentives to get the jab. So we put a poll up here. Wow, looks like Canada might not open its border with the United States of America until late 2023. Why are we being kept in? 13% of you guys said because of the big brain drain of professionals leaving the country. Capital flight escaping, 16%. Now, let me explain that to you, how that works. The guy on the corner sold his house for about $400,000 more than what I bought my house for 5 years ago. And my home, I'm not trying to say my home was better, but it's in a lot better shape. And I think it's even bigger too, and it's got a bigger yard. And I could sell this and move somewhere stateside in a nice, even warmer climate. And I don't have to worry about all this. You know what I'm saying? So let's go back to this poll here. So we got sell. So the 61% of you guys voted sell home for $2 million and buy one in Texas for $280,000. And I'm seriously thinking of fleeing my current country of residence. 69% of you said, yes, get me out. And 31% of you guys said, nope, I love it here. And there it is. An internet bill that's going to kill us. Internet bill will take Canadians off the web. This is going to attack shows like this. I've been doing this for years. I've been doing this for many years. And I'm very saddened to lose you guys. You know what I'm saying? And not contact with you guys. I like you guys. I'm here all the time. We're here talking. And you know what I'm saying? So who else we got here? We got Craig Cook in the house. We got 531808. See ya, man. You're out. Peace. Kia Hogdos coming in. Saying hello from Rest in Peace, Toronto. Kia, you want to call me, let me know what's going on? Because a lot of people in out east are really choked right now. And if somebody could fill me in on why everyone's so choked out east, I would like to know. Who else we got there? Papa Piss, Louisiana offering free crawfish for vax. Yep. High lumber prices equal smaller homes. Yeah, they're pushing for that. Because they're pushing for smaller families, right? They're pushing for everything. Oh, but these people... Again, guys, we covered this on the channel. It started with methane climate control. It was called methane climate control in It was almost in the 1870s, 1880s, where they were forcing farmers that had cows to pay some sort of methane climate control tax. They even have flyers in existence that they were trying to, like old prints, like of a circulation of like this old Chinese menu here. They were giving that out to doctors, farmers, to get them to pay for that. It was credit. So it was methane climate control in 1870s, 1880s. And then something resurfaced in the early 90s, 81, 82, 83, and it was ozone layer protection program. Oh, we're burning too much plastic. The ozone layer has 2 holes in it. Oh my God, the ozone layer has... And then from 1981, 82, 83, that fizzled out. And then it was global warming in 1997, 98, and they're like, Florida will be underwater by 2007. None of that happened, and everyone laughed at it. And then it became climate change, because you can't really argue that climate changes. Climate does change in 2017, and then in 2021, we are now saying 2021, we're saying climate crisis. It's fantastic. It's fantastic how we just don't get ahead in anything, and they're just trying to recycle the garbage, and try to rephrase it and shove it down our throats. And it's a lot of public figures that are doing, or public servants. So take that public servant BS and stick it back up, you know what, and shut up. You're a public servant. All right, let's move on. So here it is, guys. This is the big one. Are we going to see a dip in gasoline? Are we going to see a hike in gasoline prices? Here it is. Cyber attack forces shutdown of largest gasoline pipeline in the United States. Largest gasoline pipeline on the East Coast and the U.S. in general was shut down on Friday after its operator struggled to contain a cyber attack which threatened its systems. The 5,500-mile Colonial Pipeline, which is the single largest refined products pipeline in the United States, halted transit as the company was forced to take certain systems offline to contain the threat. There it is right there. The Colonial Network is responsible for supplying fuel to that originates with refineries on the Gulf Coast to most of the southern U.S., accounting for over 2.5 million barrels per day in gasoline and diesel and jet fuel and other refined products transferred, making 45% of all the East Coast fuel supply. It spans from Texas through southern states up to New Jersey. So are we going to see, just like the lumber shortage that everybody's making a YouTube video showing all these trains filled with wood, all these yards filled with wood? I mean, all the yards around my house are filled with wood. So, I mean, what is going on there? So let's keep moving. So there it is. Ransomware. Let's go to full screen here. Ransomware used in cyber attack on one of U.S.'s largest fuel pipelines. So there it is right there. That's what it looks like. And this article goes on to say the Biden administration responded to the attack in Florida by calling on energy providers to beef up their security procedures. The United States faces a well-documented and increasing cyber threat from malicious actors. Energy Secretary Jennifer whatever said last month, it's up to both government and industry to prevent possible harms. So here it is, guys. They're addressing it. They're not telling us something here. Let me explain to you what's going on here. They're not telling us something we don't know. They're addressing it and bringing it forward because later in 5 months, they'll be like, well, we told you guys about this. Well, we told you about... That's how they do it. They bring it across the floor. They introduce it. They discuss it. This could have been a drill for all we know. They could have been practicing a drill. They could have been working it. You get what I'm saying here, right? So, this is a major problem that's happening, and this is what I'm afraid of. We don't need to know this stuff unless something really major is happening, but they're going to start flowing it. It flows like the fuel through these pipelines. The fuel that flows through these pipelines, that's how they're going to flow it through. Nice and easy. And they're going to bring it up, they're going to rediscuss it, and they're going to bring back, oh, remember this? Of a month ago? Remember 2 months? We told you guys! And that's what we're going to keep hearing. So this is good for the Sadiq Khan, re-elected as London mayor, giving the Labour a victory as party reels from by-election setbacks. Let's just see if it was mail-in ballots, because they were pushing for, in England, they were pushing very, very hard for mail-in ballot system. And dangerous to vote in public, just like in Canada they're doing. And I'm trying to see if it was vote on Saturday. Let's see if there's mail-in ballots. Let me do a Control F here for you guys. Oops, I got the wrong one open here. All right, let me do a Control F. Let's see if we got mail-in. Oh, there's one mail. Where? Oh, email. So they were pushing. I guess I don't think they'll announce that there were. I think there was. Because I honestly think there was mail-in ballots, because if all these people are doing such a terrible job, how the heck are they getting reelected? That's the question no one's asking. Everyone's looking at all this stuff. How are these people getting elected? It makes no sense unless, again, 90% of the population of the country or the city of London is completely out to lunch. Right? Woo! All right, let's move on. Small child and 2 bystanders shot as New York City's wave of gun crimes arrives in Times Square. So, guys, don't they... I know there's someone watching this from New York right now, because I saw you in the comments. Isn't there, like, some sort of, like, ban on guns in New York State and a.k.a. New York City? Wasn't there a ban on guns way back in the 80s? In the 84, 85? Wasn't there a ban on guns in New York? I don't even, 3 victims and a 4-year-old girl, a 23-year-old and a 43-year-old were struck when one of 4 men involved in a dispute pulled out a gun. Oh, okay, so there was a shootout. Wild West shootout in New York. Man, it's disgusting. I hate this. Especially when children are, children's lives are at stake because of a dispute between 2 shitheads, right? 3 injured in a Florida mall shooting. Police respond. Several suspects in custody. Wow. 2 women attacked with a hammer in Times Square, making New York City's latest assault on people of Asian descent. So there it is right there. Lots of violence going on across America. And it doesn't say these, like, the victims. I guess if they were, they must be, I guess they're white, because if they're of any other culture, they would announce, but I guess it doesn't say here. A small child, people reported, America's largest city, 3 victims. It doesn't tell you who, so they're probably Caucasian people. A woman and a small child were taken to ambulance. Yeah, so probably Caucasian people that got hit with the stray bullets there. So they usually never tell you, and if it's another culture, they'll stem it onto that branch of, if it's black, if it's Chinese, if it's Asian, whatever it is, they'll stem it on and kind of perplex it, and kind of grow it and fan it out, right? But if it's Caucasian, you wouldn't even know, you know what I'm saying? All right. Scotland. Okay, well, this is a lot. Pay attention, America. Pay attention, Australia. This is a big deal. Scotland Sturgeon warns Boris Johnson not to block second independence vote, says he'd be picking a fight with Scottish people. And I know a lot of British people would fight for Scotland. Scotland wants independence from the UK, the United Kingdom. And they want out. So they're running bogus stories of Iranian interference in Scottish politics. Okay, so I guess it's Iranian interference going on. When something doesn't go someone's way, they're always going to find Russian, Iranian. Why isn't it Bermuda? Why isn't Bermuda? Bermuda or Belize? Why isn't Belize meddling with interfering? Why isn't Iran interfering? Why isn't it Antarctica? It's always the same guys. It's always Russia, China. It's always, who else? Iran. Bogus story of Iranian. Yeah, it's bogus. I'm not even going to waste my time with that. Prime Minister Boris Karloff laments talk of irresponsible second Scottish referendum and Scots prepare for an election. That's right. It's just like, Catalonia. Catalonia basically transparently showed the world that democracy does not exist. It's not real. And that was back in 2015, 2016. I've come to grips and said, well, democracy is over. Voting doesn't mean anything anymore. 97% of the state of Catalonia wanted to secede from Spain. They have their own language, their own flag, their own culture, their own imports, their own economy. And they want to separate from the rest of Spain because of destructive government spending by the Spanish governance. What happened? Well, the governors that were elected in Catalonia were all put behind bars. And people that were, pushing for a referendum and separate, guess what happened? Tons of people went to jail, and no one's allowed to separate from anything. That's the problem. We keep talking about on this channel of this dream we have, where we're going to carve out a small piece of land, okay, and just make an independent country, like just become independent. And we could buy the land ourselves and just completely... I know America's offering that if you have X amount of square miles, you're allowed to create your own country. Look it up. It's actually something that was passed. And that's why Billy Gates, in my opinion, is buying up a ton of farmland in the last couple of months there. So.
You're talking about all man.
All right, guys, the sun's coming through here. Sun's setting here. A beautiful day we're having here in British Columbia here. So Prime Minister Johnson laments talk of irresponsible second Scottish referendum. Irresponsible! Irresponsible! I'm certain there will be a majority in the Scottish Parliament of people who are committed to holding on to an independence referendum on the future of Scotland, he said. Of course he's going to say that. Because he's going to lose power. Because once countries, like let's say the EU falls apart, they're going to lose power. They're going to lose. One country that should leave is Portugal. They have a Portuguese union. They got Brazil, they got Angola, they got Mozambique, they got Guinea-Bissau, they got Cape Verde, they got all kinds of places that they trade with. Same language, same religion, same everything. They even have the biggest jurisdictional waters going out to the Azores and way out. Biggest jurisdictional waters in Europe. What the hell's Portugal being part of the EU for? Why? Well, they're paying Portugal not to grow tobacco. They're paying Portugal not to grow oranges. They're paying Portugal not to fish. But we're fishermen. They're losing their skill. The generations are losing their skill. And they're paying Portugal to do everything. Stay home, you get paid. And that's what they're doing. A lot of countries should not be in these big blocks or these big... They should be independent because they got a lot more going for them if they're independent. Oh, look at this! Look! Did this guy get some plugs? Where is this? What happened to this guy's hair? This was 5 days ago. This guy almost had no hair the other day. Where did he get his hair from? Vax Live. Prince Harry makes a vaccine plea at a concert in Los Angeles. Yeah. I'm willing to bet anybody.
Mexico.
100 to 1. 100 to 1. Like if we had a way to find out without either one of us knowing the answer, I would bet 100 to 1 that this guy did not take it, and he will not take it. But obviously, of course I took it. Of course I took it. Like, it's like in high school when some of the jocks would say, yeah, I got lucky with so-and-so, and meanwhile, he couldn't get past first base. I don't think this guy took it. I'm willing to put, for every dollar, $1,000. So we're getting people in the comments section. All right, it's 33 minutes, and let's get our first call. We got a lot of states. I want to cover this real quick here. States with the strictest lockdowns ruined livelihoods without saving lives. Of course. The 5 states with the strictest lockdowns last year, Hawaii, California, Massachusetts, New Jersey, and New York, have the average unemployment rate of 8.06%. In 5 states, the lightest restrictions, unemployed just sits at 3.48%, lower than 3.5%, the national rate before the pandemic hit in the U.S. So the flu hit, and then everybody freaked out, and Trump got out of office. They had to do it. There are a lot of things in motion here. And a study by 5 universities of Chicago scholars published the proceedings of the National Academy of Scientists of the United States of America stated, we do not find debatable effects of shelter-in-place policies on disease spread or death. There it is right there, guys. Progressive politicians across the country assumed unique powers in last year, took away personal freedoms, and destroyed livelihoods without saving lives, but they've still yet to admit the historic failures or be held accountable for committing them. No one's going to be held accountable because we are on the unaccountability generation we're living in right now, folks. And it's really sad that more and more people will be unaccountable for what is happening. Sorry, guys, the sun's shining in here like full blast. And I should have put a towel or closed the curtains, like doesn't cover that. Yeah. Anyways. Okay, so I kind of wanted to cover that. Let's get a caller. Let's get someone to call in on Mike in the Night. It is 3 a.m. and something is moving you. So we got Linny Poo saying we're back to total lockdown. Restaurants, inside, outside, everything's in lockdown. We got Jacob there. Looks like he's like, let me get Jacob real quick on the show. Jacob, turn on your Skype. I want to talk to you. What is going on out east? Why is everyone freaking out?
Like me.
Yo, Jacob.
Hello, Mike. What's going on?
Nada. Listen, I just want to call and touch base with you. I want to know what's going on out east and why everyone's freaking out.
Okay, so I got a good friend of mine, and he's working for a quasi-government service that rhymes with the LCBO.
LCBO, guys, is Liquor Board of Ontario.
It rhymes with that. I don't say for sure that it is or it isn't, but it certainly sounds like it to me. So he's telling me that he's getting the breakdowns here are taking place with people fighting over the masks now. Because, of course, you have to wear your mask inside the LCBO and da-da-da-da-da. So they're spending all this time now breaking up fist fights because people are policing each other and yelling at each other and kind of cracking under the pressure, almost as if it was engineered to take place like that. I'm curious if anybody else is seeing this type of behavior where they are.
So we're going into mask wars?
Well, yeah, people they're having fist fights and calling the police on each other and all kinds of nonsense in the liquor store.
Hold on, the police actually show up?
No, of course not.
Okay, the police don't show up to anything anymore. If I can tell you something real quick,
they're being done away with. Honestly,
let me tell you something real quick. This week, I'm like outside my store. Mm-hmm. Next door to me is the marijuana store, and then down the street, like maybe 40 feet, is the big liquor store, right?
Right.
There was a huge bum fight outside. There was 2 bums fighting over a cigarette butt.
Of course.
Oh, and it
What
was
else is
really rowdy. They got really bad screaming, and then one guy walked by, kicked my door, broke a window on a car, and just random car, and just pissed. I called the police. The police are like, how is this person affecting you directly? I'm like, well, he's not affecting me directly, but he's causing a huge ruckus on the street. Is he doing something to you directly or your business? I'm like, no, he's not, but he's breaking car windows and they're smashing the place up. And, oh, yeah, well, call us if he affects you.
So what you're seeing is the retooling of the law enforcement apparatus. Instead from protect, it says protect and serve on the vehicle. It doesn't say you on it. It doesn't say to protect and serve you. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a dismantling of the police state, essentially, not the establishment of one. Everyone's scared that this is the big power play to take over our lives. Our lives are taken over already, anyways.
Is everyone still believe about this whole thing? Well, what's going to happen? I guess Florida no longer will exist. I guess Florida will no longer exist to Canada because there's COVID passports are banned. They're unconstitutional, and now they're banning. They're just shutting everything down. So when it comes to that, and this is like 100% open for business, like Texas. Texas opened March 3rd. So this is a major issue for Canada because they're pushing this. They want to get this to the election, is what Canada wants to do.
Yes. This is the foot dragging that you see. This is a classic Canadian tactic. They drag because they have cycles, right? And minority governments kind of just hang on there and all this kind of stuff.
Well, because we have a 2-year gap between the United States, so there's a 2-year gap in our election. So Canada wants us to. They're pushing for 2023 lockdowns.
Oh, of course they are. And what's happening in the global shipping system? If you hadn't noticed, because a friend of mine's in an organization that sounds like Transport Canada, so it kind of rhymes with it. He's telling me that the last shipping container vessel that docked in Canada was 6 months ago. And now we can't buy our cheap Chinese products at Dollarama and Walmart and things that they're all taped off because there's no replacements. Right?
Interesting.
That's right. We used to get our just-in-time deliveries, no problems there. But now where are all these vessels gone? We're talking about thousands of container ships, not just containers themselves, right? So they're hinting about trade disruptions and things of that nature. So we're seeing that the global system is collapsing, not forming.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but they're announcing that the price of fruit this summer is going to go up drastically,
huge,
and the price of meat and milk is going to go up a lot. So
I noticed your video that you sent where you showed what was it, $50 or $100 worth of local groceries cost you, and yeah. I was shocked. It's easily double what it is here, easily, and it's definitely in the mail. I couldn't believe how expensive some lunch meat and a loaf of bread cost you. It just shocked me.
The bread was $11. The lunch meats each were like $10 each.
I just bought bread for $1.88 today.
But was it the Portuguese buns?
It's like your fancy sourdough bread or whatever, right?
Okay.
Interesting. So moving forward here, what we're seeing now, you're out in Merritt, right? Mm-hmm. Your police are they local police or are they provincial police?
Provincial police.
Exactly. So that what you're seeing now is the provincial police taking a step back. They're going to move into more of the peacekeeping style of law enforcement rather than the protect and serve community policing that they had done for several generations that failed miserably, of course. So when a month ago when my car got stolen, I got a little report number from them. That was it, right? They didn't even come to my house. They're just like, I went down to the police station. I'm like, yeah, my car is stolen, my phone, this person did it, da-da-da-da-da. They gave me a little piece of paper with a report number. They're like, here, give that to your insurance company. That was the extent of our interactions.
Well, every time I call the police here, I stopped calling the police a long time ago.
Well, you're going to have to.
I think one guy threatened me and my family, like, to my face, and they have it on camera on the PharmaSafe. And,
of course they do.
Huh?
Of course. If it's on any type of wireless IP camera or whatever, it's stored somewhere forever.
Well, the police said that he's forming an opinion. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
He's forming an opinion.
Yeah. Well, I don't call them anymore because some guy. Well, there was one guy. Remember? I don't know if you watch my videos where I'm having a really tough time
I do. You have a whole series.
No, I'm having a tough time with idling vehicles outside my shop.
Right.
So
Now,
sometimes
that's a
people
city
will leave their
bylaw that you
vehicle
guys have,
parked
right?
outside my shop for, I don't know, 40 minutes, 50 minutes. Some people leave their big trucks idling and then they go to the gym.
Right. Like diesel truck
Like
drivers are
like
famous for that.
10-cylinder ones too.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
anyways, so they're outside idling for 40, 50 minutes. They go to the gym, they come back, and they just get and they leave, right? But the
Right.
problem is when they do that, the fumes come into my store, and then there was one guy that either had a busted oil seal or a pressure seal in one of his pistons, and there was this really poisonous gas fumes coming, and you could see it in the light. The fumes, like you could see.
I know. I did see that because you showed a video of it. You're like, look, you can see in my store here. It's toxic in here. You can see it, right?
So
I did see that.
One time
Now,
I
do you have a
kindly
city
asked
bylaw
somebody,
about
"Hey,
it?
bud, can you just shut your car off because the fumes are going in the store and I have customers in there?"
Right.
The guy looked at me and said, "Close your door, F."
Nice.
And
Classy.
then he gets out of his truck and then wanted to fight me. And I asked him nicely. I wasn't rude or anything.
You know what? I noticed that you being like a very extroverted type of personality in these crisis times, people are not conductive to that because everyone's retracted into themselves. And you're a very extroverted type of person, right? So they kind of don't know how to take you, see it as possibly a threat. And when sometimes someone feels threatened, that they answer with a threat, even though it's imaginary, right? Because they don't know that you're the nicest guy around.
And then that person kept drove by my store for several days in a row with my door open, saying he knows where I live, he's going to come and get me, and blah blah blah.
Right.
And then several times he almost hit me with his truck while I'm on the street or I'm crossing the street with my son or something. He would speed up and I have it on camera. I showed the police. He's going over 120 kilometers an hour in a 40 zone, and he swerved in to try and hit me. And the police said, "Well, he's forming an opinion."
Right. So you can read between the lines there. You know what I mean? If you read between the lines, it kind of sounds like you're on your own.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what I mean. And as long as someone is not injured or killed, they probably wouldn't care.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So
this is
basically
the situation we're going into.
you can't say nothing to anybody. And that's what I've learned from that mistake I made.
Right.
And I no longer I'm no longer
no longer even going down that avenue anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what we're seeing now, and I'm sure some of your fans, your people can talk. You're going to see the withdrawal of the law enforcement community from society. It's going to be more on the American side because now they're getting like personally civilly liable for problems that are having. You have all these neo-communists talking about dismantling the police forces. To me, that's like a test bed to see how the public's going to react to it because they can't afford it. They can't afford their apparatus. The Toronto police, they have 6,000 police officers that make $200,000 a year. Is that sustainable? Exactly.
But I heard they have more people working in the HR department.
Oh, 100%. I'll tell you that.
A majority of them don't even speak. They're not even Canadians.
No, of course not. A huge chunk of our law enforcement apparatus are foreigners. A huge chunk. And that was that whole, a virtue signaling to appear diverse, mm-hmm. right? Which is really actually kind of racist when you think about it.
Right.
If you're penalizing your indigenous people or people that were born in the area and hiring for, to me, that's racist, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or making it a racial issue. To me, it's a social construct because I know all of us grew up. There was no racism at all. It just wasn't a thing, right? I grew up in a very diverse environment. I don't remember ever even meeting a racist person.
Yeah,
but
it was very.
Now they're telling us.
I don't know. My favorite is when I spoke to a regional manager for a big restaurant fast food chain, and right. he was shocked that when he started working there that they don't. If anybody's Caucasian or lives in the area, take the resume and throw it right in the garbage.
Yeah, well, just look at the name and like, yeah, well, because there's incentives, right? Look how it's the feeding of a narcissistic society. when
They
you're
just-
virtue signaling.
because they rather have people that are new to the country so they could bully them and push them around, which is really
That's
sad,
right.
which is
and then
terrible.
you have exactly, and then you have this shield. Look how diverse I am because I've hired essentially modern slaves, right?
Yeah.
I've essentially hired and pay them, like minimum wage and stuff is a slave wage. It really is.
Yeah.
Right. Anybody that could survive.
Well,
that,
but
you're
for me,
talking about
minimum wage
beefing up
jobs
to
were always
$15 an hour.
well, no.
Yeah,
but
we
minimum
were supposed to do
wage
them
for
in
me
high
was
school.
always just to get by between
That's
high
right.
school and college, or work the summer and then pay for your college.
Well, that's
Minimum
what
wage is not living wage job.
No, it's
it's
not.
just for you to live with your parents. You're 16. You want to buy your first car. That's what
That's
minimum
exactly
wage
what it was
means to
for.
me.
And it was from like post World War II up until about the 90s, and now we're starting to see career minimum wage folks. The
That's
private
what I'm
security
saying.
industry
That
in
should be
Canada is
like-
like that.
Right. Like what like I remember when I was 16, I applied to work at KFC. It's like, okay, we're not hiring, but we're not. And they always get new people in, but they would never hire like locals. It was always
No, of course not.
And I was always frustrated. I tried to apply at places that are like, I was 17, no one's hiring. I was like, this sucks.
And you're actually an immigrant, right?
I'm a Portuguese.
Right,
But I can't
you're
say that too loud. They'll put me on a plane.
well, yeah, you're just a little too white for your britches, right? Is what it was.
Yeah.
They assume that you and I are in the same boat.
Yeah.
See, we're virtue signaling is racist. If you think about it, diversity hires, and it's a joke.
Mhm.
We're being they're gaslighting us, is what they're doing, because their delicacies to them are forbidden to us.
And
was a-
freelancing too. Somebody in the comments says freelance was also for a similar reason. Freelancing work too.
That's right. And now you hear from freelance journalists, photographers, anything like that, gone, done. They just don't, they're trying to get rid of the gig economy. That's what I was hearing lately, because in Toronto they had this massive gig economy. It's being done away with. We're all locked in our basements now.
Yeah, it's this lockdowns. I'm gonna try and get a hold of Linny Poo.
Okay,
Because
absolutely.
right now she's telling us that she was telling me in Manitoba everything's locked down fully.
Yes, I saw that on the news last night. They snuck it in right at about midnight. They're like,
Snuck
"Yep,
it in. I like
we're
how
all
you say
locked
that.
down."
Snuck it in.
Yep, they
Snuck it
on
in.
the
Nobody
door right
freak
around.
out. This is just the sun blasting in my face here. It's giving me some good vitamin D here. I'm trying to dodge the sun here, but
We
I'm
haven't
gonna
even
have to
gotten any
fix these
sun here
curtains.
past
Like
2
this
weeks.
is disgusting.
Okay, get your friend on the horn there, and I'll be watching.
All right, Jacob. God bless you. I appreciate you taking your time to be with us.
Always a pleasure.
All right, bye.
Cheers.
Cheers. That is our man Jacob out in the GTA, the Greater Toronto area. So it looks like Linny Poo's Skype is turned off, and we have a geopolitical expert here, Dominic. I want to see if he picks. I'm gonna call him. He probably won't pick up, but I would like to call him to let him know that I'm trying to get a hold of him because I want to get his. Yeah, he's not connecting. So I want to get Dominic on the show big time again because he loves Bill Gates. He loves talking about Bill Gates. And he's always following what he's doing, what he's up to, where he's... Oh, okay, we got... Lord Humongous is going to come on the show, and let me just open this link here really quick. He has a goal that he's raising here. I'm going to donate to this after the show. I'm going to move... I haven't been using my PayPal a lot lately because now eBay's holding payments now. No more eBay with... No more PayPal with eBay, which I'm saving a bit of money now, so I'm not giving that 2% up. But I am going to move some money from my bank to my PayPal and send some money to Lord Humongous. So he created a Mike in the Night Amerifornia Tour 2021. Okay, so let's get him on the phone here, and let's talk to him. I'm going to give you guys the link to it. If you guys want to support him in his cause, there's his PayPal right there. Let me full screen this for you guys here so you guys can see it. There it is. Ends December 30th, 2021. So if you guys want to pledge to Mike in the Night Amerifornia Tour 2021, and I will contribute to that in a couple of after the show. I will contribute to that. Sorry, guys, the sun is in my back now. All right, let's get him on the show. Here's Robert. What's up, dog?
What's up, doggy dog? Dog coin?
All right, so we
happening?
talk. Yeah, Dogecoin. Is it Dogecoin or Dogecoin?
It's Dogecoin.
I pronounced it wrong the other day. I made a couple of people upset.
Oh.
I was calling it Dogecoin.
Right? So I'm putting the link for the Mike and the Night Freedom Tour 2021 for the RV that we got going on.
So you guys I'm going to tell you as a friend, don't spend too much money on the graphics on the outside. Maybe get a cheap wrap, but don't go crazy on that. And
No. Dano's making up just small ones for everybody's channel.
Okay. Yeah, good. Amerifornia Tour 2021, Mike and the Night. So Robert, Lord Humongous, is going to go on the road to surrounding states to discuss what's happening and kind of unpack what is happening across the United States of America.
Woo!
You said you wanted to go as far as you said you know people in Florida, so you might head that way.
Yeah, my sister moved down there, but we're gonna hit like Amerifornia, like California, Southwest, all those regions first.
Mm-hmm. And then maybe take 10 across Texas.
Yeah. I've trucked every state in the continental USA, so I figure we might as well make a good use out of my RV, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sort of the Mike and the Night rolling. We're trying to make it the Mike and the Night mobile studio.
That's awesome, dude. If you could do that,
Right?
man, that's awesome. Just talk to people, talk to homeless people, talk to people that want to be heard, right?
Oh yeah, we want to talk to everybody, and special events that are going on with like van life. A lot of people moving into their vans and stuff. We want to kind of follow those groups around. There's a ton of people that are doing that. Even people that are living in their automobiles. I mean, that's got to show a lot of people what this system's doing to the majority of folks, even in all of North America. It doesn't matter, the housing and all that stuff. So.
Mm-hmm.
So we really want to, but the main thing I want to focus on is, people's rights and freedom of speech. I mean, look what they're doing to us on the internet by the censorship. Everybody gets censored if it doesn't follow the certain, toe the line or the agenda.
Bill C-10.
That's right. I'm going to put an anti-Bill C-10 sticker on the van too. It's like a huge rolling billboard, so we can fight against it. We can make our statements and people can see them as we go travel around.
For those of you that I don't know that are watching from the United States, this will be coming to you if this doesn't get stopped in Canada, and this will be coming to Australia, all English-speaking countries. Bill C-10 is designed. There's different. I'm going through different Bill C-10. Liberals' dangerous arrogance didn't begin and won't end with internet regulation bill. They're going to be censoring everything in Canada,
Right.
and they're going to stop us. The problem is with this, Lord Humongous, the problem with this, I'll explain to you what the problem is. If there's something really majorly happening in Canada, or something like a huge paradigm shift here, you guys will never, nobody in the world will know about it because we'll be censored to post it.
Well, they've already done that with distracting the mainstream media for years. They split everybody's mind psychologically. We want to stand for the truth, right, Mike? I mean, that's ultimately what it is at the end of the day. And that's the only reason why I'm getting this money pool together, because I want to get this show on the road, and we got to start reaching out to people and being out there.
Mm-hmm.
We can't just do it all on the internet.
Walking
And it
Journeys
takes-
in the
it-
comments, he's $10,000 up on his Dogecoin. Good boy. Good job, buddy.
Nice. Well, maybe he'll consider donating a little bit to the Mike and the Night Freedom Tour, because that's what we want
That's
to promote.
amazing. Mike in
really.
the Day. You know what this reminds me of? You might be old enough to remember this. Do you remember the Lex Express?
Oh yeah.
Who in the comments knows the Lex Express? What am I talking about? The Lex Express. If you know what it is, comment below.
Woo!
And
Maybe we should give away a Mike in the Night T-shirt for whoever guesses.
You know, I want to see if I can get them bulk made. They're too expensive, man. Every time I go on Teespring, I've been selling a few of those I Love Amerifornia T-shirts.
Right.
And yeah, I've already sold like 6 of those. But the problem is, those T-shirts could, I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing that out there. It's selling, and I'm happy. But they're too expensive.
If we could get them in bulk, we could save a lot of money on that and stuff. But yeah, we can sell them right out of the van. You know, we gotta get. And thanks to Dano, you know, he's doing a good work by making up some graphics for us. You know, like the guy's amazing. You know.
Oh,
so we really want to get that rolling.
Dano's such a beautiful person. His heart, his soul, everything is just so. He's such. You know what I'm saying?
And we're gonna promote his business on the side of the billboard van too. I mean, I got plenty. The thing's a big white cube. You might as well make it a big billboard. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So can you do us a favor? Can you actually document this and then clean up your channel, get a nice background there, your YouTube channel, I'm saying, and let's start documenting the assembly of some of the stuff you're doing, putting together, and that. Put some stuff on your channel so I could plug your channel too.
Right. You know me, Mike. I'm dealing with a phone though. I only got limited. You know, I got to do everything on a dang phone right now. So
Dude,
I don't even have a laptop.
90% of the videos I make are on a phone. 90%.
I hear you, but I'm not as good as you, bro. You got all those nice backgrounds and stuff. You're gonna have to teach me.
This is not hard to do. You could get this done easy, like in a van in a passenger seat. You strap on the green screen that straps on to your seat.
Yeah,
it blocks.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that hard.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying it takes time because I have very limited, resources. So I'm trying to make the best of what I got.
Well, I'm happy that you finally got a PayPal going. It's about time.
I had one. I actually had to just reinstate it. That was all I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
But
so, okay, you're down in the States. Listen to this. Are you ready for this, buddy? Listen to this article.
Yeah.
Edmonton woman who died from the vaccine-induced blood clot was turned away from the emergency room.
I mean, that's a travesty. I mean, I don't understand, why people are taking it. I mean, seriously, in my personal opinion, and I know people that are, it's not going to protect you from anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like if it worked, then we wouldn't have this so-called all these different variant strains rolling around. It's sad. It's all. And I'm just tired of all the lies, Mike. I mean, it's all about being free.
But this is the CBC that's reporting this. This is the Canadian bought government media. So is the government now allowing, or is the government now sending a message?
Of course, they're always sending a message, and it's a message that whatever they say, you should do the opposite of, and that includes the American government and the Chinese government.
China doesn't have a government; they have an emperor.
Right?
No, they don't have a government. They have an emperor that runs that country. He instated himself as emperor in 2017. He's not going to step down. Remember?
Yeah, and we have a guy that falls down the stairs, up the stairs or down the stairs.
No, he falls up a flight of stairs 3 times.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's all it's just get back to the basics, man, and that's what it's about. I think that's what we all need to get back to, as whatever country you're in.
Wow.
But
I'm just catching my breath here from what you're telling me. It's just.
I'm halfway through that Peter Leeds book. It's a good book, so I'm enjoying reading that.
That book I sent you, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it good?
Up Thinking. Yeah, it's a very good book.
It's really good. Like, I wasn't trying to put him on a pedestal when I talked about the book, but it basically discusses specifics and kind of brings it down to earth and gives it a different angle.
Yeah, it gives it more of a reality angle, really. So yeah, I've read about 2 or 3 chapters so far. It's it's a little bit of a big book, and I'm kind of busy. I got a lot of stuff going on during the days and stuff. So I'm doing the best I can with my time, and that's what's really important, because I think that's really our most precious resource, other than being, other than God and having a personal relationship with Jesus Christ.
Amen to that, brother.
Amen.
All right, so I'm going to be plugging your Freedom Tour here till the end of the year, and maybe we could get something going, and maybe get you, covering stories for us. So you'll know the window in the time zone you're in when we are live. You know the window, right? So you know when we're live.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, Mike. I mean, once we get rolling, it's going to be fine. It's just getting the initial project off the ground and going. So that takes initial funding, and that's why we're creating this pool.
Good, and I'm happy for that, and I will definitely donate to that. I'm going to move some money from my bank to my PayPal, because I don't know if you know this, but eBay and PayPal has severed ties, right? So
yeah,
my eBay gets held by eBay, and then I get deposited by eBay to my bank account now, and I'm saving 2% on all my sales.
Right, but we want to get our audience, all the different countries, $5-10, anything helps, man. Anything helps get this project going and rolling, because unfortunately, it costs money to do these things. And I'm in no position to cover it. But I'm willing to do it, and I'm donating my van, to the channel. So
good.
That's how strongly.
So this is the Mike in the Night Amerifornia Tour 2021. I'm going to plug it again. So if you guys could please donate $1 to $5, it would be very greatly appreciated that you do that, because it's going to a good cause. And because we do go live twice a week, maybe if you do this, I might have actually step up my game and maybe do 2 Mike in the Nights a week. And then we'll do it in a convenient time for you, so that you could go live with us and you could report where you are.
Exactly. That's the idea, Mikey.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. All right, brother.
All right. Thanks for the call. And we'll be plugging this for whatever time we need to. And guys, he has a goal of 20 large in US dollars. That right now, realistically, that's not a lot of cash. So realistically now, 8 years ago, I would say, wow, 20 large US, that's a lot of green. But today, doesn't get you much gas. You know what I'm saying?
And inflation, and the commodities and the super cycles and all that other good stuff, right?
Yeah. Okay, Lord,
all
God
right.
bless you. We'll talk very soon.
All right, brother. God bless. Bye-bye.
Okay. God bless. That is Lord Humongous, guys. He is doing the Mike in the Night Amerifornia Tour 2021. If everybody could please contribute some, I approve of this. He'll be going on the road, getting stories, and he'll be uploading to his channel. And once he gets his channel nice and polished, we could go ahead and take it from there and get more exposure and more coverage, right? So we got Walking Journey in the comments that basically predicted Dogecoin and predicted all the smaller coins on his channel, I don't know, like 100 times in the last 3 months. So he's been buying crypto and buying the smaller ones, and he's basically saying in the comments, Bitcoin, that ship has gone, no future in that. It's too expensive for Bitcoin, to own a Bitcoin, right? And he put his money where his mouth is. Now he's got $10,000 in Dogecoin right now, Walking Journey. And I'm very happy for him. And I'm grateful that somebody I know is getting something from this, right? And that's good. And I'm very grateful for that to him. I'm grateful for him that he's doing well. And it always makes me happy when I hear that, oh, Mike, I remember when I was talking about this, I did it and I came through. And that's what you call a real man. Doesn't talk about what he's going to do. A real man accomplishes what he says he's going to do. I think that's how it goes. I don't know how the saying goes. Okay, I need to get Linny Poo on the show. She's saying everything's back on lockdown. I need to find out what the hell is going on here.
Hi there.
Hey, Linny, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Are you busy?
Not bad.
Okay.
I'm just, yeah.
I'm just responding to your message you left me about
Oh, yes.
Manitoba being locked down.
Well, we have been locked down anyway, but there were some liftings, right? Like they had just started that you could eat outside on outside patios with people.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just about to gear up because the warm weather was just about to come. Now they shut all restaurant activity, everything, outside, inside, everything. So went out today because we were going to do Mother's Day tomorrow, but we bumped it all up till today. Yep.
Wow, Manitoba learned a valuable lesson during the pandemic second wave that you didn't seem to help the third. What the hell is going on with these waves? Because I'm hearing a third wave, a fifth wave. So let's go over to article scan here and look at this here. Lockdown number 3. Okay, some places are calling a fifth wave. Some places are calling, like, I wish the Beach Boys had their surfboard for this. This is a wave every, you know.
I know, and no one's feeling the wave. They're the motionless waves, I guess. I don't know. Nothing has changed. This I know. All the levels of people who are in the hospital, sick, that's changed. The only thing I noticed, which is bizarre, and people are talking about it, right? This isn't news stuff. This is just talking about things. And my sister's a paramedic. So, you know, they're around. They see what's going on. You know what she said? She's like, yeah, you can't say that you're not going to even get sick again because like if you take a vaccine, doesn't mean you won't get sick because the paramedic, because she doesn't vaccinate. But the paramedics who did go out and get vaccinated, they all have COVID. They all got COVID. The whole bunch is like, wow, they got it from that maybe. I don't know what it is, but it's funny to hear people like their neighbor or their friend's friend. Like it's all around. It's weird things that are happening. Like we don't have to hear it in the news. We can see it. I can anyway. I don't know. It depends what town you're from. This is like we're a city, but we're like a big, small town here.
So I got an article here. Fourth wave of COVID likely if Canada reopens too fast, and seasonal return may be inevitable. Now, here's the problem with this. Like, we got an issue here. And can I tell you what the issue is? Mm-hmm. Florida.
I know.
Florida's open, no COVID passports, no this. It's unconstitutional, but no this, no social distancing. They're auditing death certificates. Since last March, they pretty much like kind of reopened last March and said we're done with this. The second that article hit, a motorcyclist dies on Alligator Alley, I think one of the major highways, and was marked down as COVID. The governor decided that's it. We're done. We're done with this.
Yeah, do they have open carry there?
I don't know.
Can you open carry?
I lived in Florida. I've never
seen
seen a gun there. I've never seen anyone carry a gun there.
Oh, I don't know. I just think as soon as you don't take any shit, that's how you get free. Like Texas, I wasn't sure how it was in Florida.
Well, Texas opened March 3rd of this year. Full back to business. The election's over, but the problem is, England was pushing this election for the mayoral election for London. And the person that did the most terrible job, Sadiq Khan, the most terrible job for London, now it got reelected.
Yeah.
So you see where I'm going. They pushed for mail-in ballots, dangerous to vote in person, but they wanted to go ahead with the election because it's our freedom to do that. It's our right to mail in a ballot.
I know. Yeah, all that mail stuff, that's very great. That means a lot, I'm sure. It's all very meaningful. Fill out some forms. Send them as meaningful, just like the census, the Canada census. That was meaningful. That was good info.
Let me ask you something.
What?
Can you see this COVID thing go until the next election in Canada?
Oh man, do we have real elections? Like I'm had enough of the fake world, but because people talk all about the reality of COVID. Like so many people are getting vaccines and bragging about it. It's just bizarre.
You could be at a Pink Floyd concert and somebody would go on stage and kick the singer off and said, "I took my vaccine today."
I know. And they're just like, oh, we're in the club. Oh, yeah, I guess I might as well say I'm in the Pfizer club. Oh, really? I went last week. Oh, I was there today. Too bad I missed you. It's weird. But anyway, I mean, there's that part. So if it wasn't for them, right? Maybe we could get somewhere, but that does exist. So what are you going to do?
I'm concerned about like there's this whole world out there that's just, we're done. The elections in the States, the elections in the United States have done what they have. Like this COVID fixed what we need to get fixed in our electoral system. Now, let's move forward, reopen the economy. We're going to have to raise rates here. If America reopens and we keep going with this BS, we're going to have to raise interest rates here in Canada to keep up or hedge against some sort of way of this hyperinflation. I don't see Canada, America going into hyperinflation because our money is too tied to our economies, oil, and all this other crap. But I am seeing it really get expensive here real fast if they don't fix this thing real quick in a heartbeat.
I guess so. Gas is more, but I find a lot of good deals on food. What's up with that?
Really?
Why are there so many? Yeah. Yeah, that's weird. I find it's like, oh, I thought there was all this. Like, what's happening? Is it such a good price? Is it because they're like, like killing them? Like having to call lots more than usual. And so there's oversupply. I don't know. There just seems to be lots of around here anyway, but we're farming community. So it's hard to see, but I see so many great deals. Mm-hmm. That's weird because I know not all places in the world would be like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Because you hear about things up, but what's up with the good deals? Like the pork, right? What else? Especially that I find.
Wood's up, and then now they're and then a gasoline pipeline shut itself down.
Well, wood was funny because was somewhere where there was a fire yesterday. And it was like, oh, you're throwing 20s on the fire. That's what it's like now. It's like, how much is that we're just throwing on the fire? Those are like big wigs now, and it's a fire. But you got to think, wow, that's a lot, because that's a lot of wood to burn. Mm-hmm. Like, what does that all mean? Right? Yeah. It's fun though. Like, what are you going to do? Just keep living. But that is very, these are bizarre undertakings. Like, how far will that push? How far will it push?
So McCladden says, I saw 200 people at the Costco this morning. I guess the pandemic doesn't care when you want to spend money.
I don't know. I stopped going to Costco long ago. I mean, it does seem that things have wind down. It's a slow wind down, I guess. It does seem, because remember at first it was long lineups. Mm-hmm. And every time they locked down again, the lineups really absorbed. Like, it just seemed that, I don't know, we all got used to it. They were back to counting again, though, today.
Oh, they're counting today. Oh, it's
like counting hectic. Who's in the store.
But don't worry. Places that are fully open and ignored this, and it's in the rearview mirror, and they're taking care of their people. It's over. The election in the States is over. It was last November. Let's move on, guys. You know?
Yeah, I guess. And is that even a president? Like, when he talks, I'm freaked out. Not that I really watch the whole piece, but I see bits and pieces because, it floats around. And it's like, wow, does that look weird when he talks, Biden? Like, does that seem real? What is that? Like, what the hell is that? All of it. The show has turned bizarre. It's like they used to try to look legit, and now they're just like, yeah, the whole thing's not legit, so take that. Because you like daytime fake shows so much. Here's a good one. And they just amp up the insanity. People just sit there and, wow, it's unbelievable. We are in very unprecedented times. Like, you got to saddle up. Right? There's a ride. Yeah, saddle up.
So here it is right here. Fourth wave of COVID-19 likely if Canada reopens too fast.
Yeah.
Sounds like you have guests over.
No, I'm out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you at a taco place?
No,
okay.
No, but people are gathering. Like, you know what? Yeah, that's a bunch of nonsense. I would have went to appointments if they would have stayed open. Like, there's going to be a time that everyone will just have to ignore it and just go. Just ignore it. You know, they're not the boss. But for now, it's not the time, obviously. But yeah, and because like there are certain, like tomorrow is the day that it all shuts down. So today is sort of the last hurrah day. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Lenny. I'll let you go. It sounds like you got something going on there. I'll let you go.
Oh,
do your thing.
It's fun, but I'm glad you dropped in. Thank you.
I just wanted to kind of respond or act on what you messaged me earlier, and I got some of your articles open here.
It's a
And
shock. It was a shock to people, right? Because, the lady, like I had a hair appointment for Monday. I haven't been to a hairdresser in months.
mhm.
It's hard to get in with all these. They just opened. She was sobbing,
Oh, she was crying. Why was she
sobbing.
crying?
Well, because it has hit them very hard. There are some places that are getting hit hard. Hairdressing, that's a big one.
Hmm.
A lot of them make a living and they've been hit. They were shut down. They opened for a short time and down they go again. I mean, they can barely get on their feet and down they go and they can't work.
Hmm.
How are they gonna, So, and they have like she has a family. They have a family. Like her husband works, but still they counted on both. Like, yep, they'll find ways, I guess. She's looking at ways to go virtual and help people do their hair. It's like great. Like she'll help you virtually to do it yourself, I guess.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's a shock out of nowhere to do that, right? To people. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Hang in there.
Okay. Do your thing. Have fun. It
Yeah,
sounds like there's a
thank
party
you.
going on.
Yeah.
We'll talk soon. And
All right.
thanks for sending me the links, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. Have a great show.
You
Good
too.
night.
God bless. Bye.
Okay. Bye. God bless.
That is Linny. I hate bugging people when they're busy or they're at a party or something or a gathering. I feel I don't want to be a bother, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate all the calls, everybody there on their Skype. We need to get the Raven on to go partial kook, maybe full kook. I'm not sure. Liam messaged me something of importance from I don't know if he's in Thailand. He sent us videos. We saw the videos last week, the week before. I'm just trying to figure out if he's okay. I don't know if he's in Thailand still or if he's in the United Kingdom right now. All right, let's go over like 2 or 3 more articles really quick because I want to get some points across here on tonight's show. So, Scotland wants out of the UK. And this guy telling people what to do when he doesn't do it for himself. States with stricter lockdowns ruined livelihoods without saving lives. We covered that. Ontario medical regulator threatens to punish doctors for criticizing lockdowns. Yeah, it means your freedoms are gone. You're not allowed to criticize anything in this country. You say, you know what I'm saying? You say something or yeah. Wow, 75% of Canadians want to get the COVID vaccine. Okay. Well, this will trigger herd immunity a lot quicker, right? We just had Lenny Poo telling us that people all got the sickness when they got the shot, which is really good because yeah, this is really good. Okay, guys, I want to throw this out there. Our leader, and I want to get a statue. I want to get a poster of this guy and put him up in my store. I'm not kidding. I want to get a poster made of DeSantis, the governor of Florida. They are suing the CDC because one unelected bureaucracy doesn't have authority to close the entire U.S. industry. There it is right there. DeSantis, the great DeSantis. Should we call him Saint DeSantis or Saint? Yeah, we should. This guy should be in. This guy will be the first guy to go into sainthood while he's still alive. This guy needs to be registered a saint. Saint DeSantis. I'm not making this up. I'm a Catholic, so you don't have to complain to YouTube or anything. A lone unelected bureaucracy should not and does not have the power to indefinitely shut down an entire industry, and that's why we're suing the Centers for Disease Control, the CDC. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said on Wednesday. Is there a PayPal link to send him money? I want to send this guy money. I want to just say here, thank you for doing something. I'm in Canada. And I want to give this guy $100. I want to buy this guy lunch. God bless DeSantis. Yeah, people in the comments love DeSantis. This is a problem for Canada now. Florida's open, no COVID passports, no this. They're auditing death certificates. It's been open forever. They really had anything going on there. They had the Super Bowl in Florida. So what does this mean for Canada? Well, here it is. A fourth wave. Canada will, if reopens too fast, the seasonal return may be inevitable of a fourth wave. There it is right there. You cannot make... I'm going to have to redo the show in Spanish and in Portuguese. I'm going to have to actually, like, explain... Like this is... I have a friend in Mozambique. I talked to him the other day when I was at work. I called him on Skype. We talked for a little bit. And he told me... Because I practice my Portuguese, right? So I want to talk to people, right? Of my native language. So he told me that... It's like they're working, everyone's doing their thing, the church, everything. They're like, they don't know what the heck is going on in Brazil, and they never really had any restrictions because it's really hard to restrict in parts of Africa that are, big cities and metropolises there. So he was telling me, he's like, Mike, I don't even know what the hell you guys are freaking, like, we're open, our flights are open, and it's like, they, in Mozambique is Portuguese Africa. They get 2 flights in per day from Portugal, and then they get like a flight or 2 per day from China, because China's buying up Africa. But they want to get those good colonized countries with all the cities and highways already built by the Portuguese. So the Chinese come in and buy up everything cents on the dollar. And basically, we covered this on this channel where they're clearing out hectares of wood and sending it back to China. My friend who sits on council and in the capital Maputo, used to be called Lorenz Marx, who sits on council, sent me a link and asked me to get a hold of Greta Thunberg, let her know they're deforesting the entire country and sending it back to China. Imagine another country coming in and start deforesting and saying, oh, we're taking this back to our country. What are you going to do about it? And that's what's been happening across Africa, especially with the ones like the Portuguese-speaking countries. They're very well more established. The French went to Africa and ruined it, and no one speaks it there anyway. And they've ruined it. Starting 2-sided wars. I'm not going to get into that tonight, but
The man.
oh yeah. So Canada is a gulag, says Donaire. Florida Panthers allows fans to return. Of course. But this is a major issue for Canada. So now, going forward, Florida does not exist in Canada. Florida, who? What's Florida? I don't know what Florida is. If you live in Canada, Florida does not exist. Because once it does exist, this paradigm that we're in here makes absolutely zero sense. And I know they're pushing for a snap election in Canada. And if they don't get the snap election, I have a feeling what they're going to do is they're going to push this for the next 2 years. Well, England made an achievement today. I'll show you what happened. This guy here got reelected as mayor of London. And they were pushing for mail-in ballots in England. I'm not sure if they did a mail-in thing, because I know it was a huge lockdowns in England, and especially in London. So he won again. Did he win with mail-in ballots like Biden did, and everyone that's going to keep winning these elections, right? Or they're going to keep depending on this whole ballot system, right? They're trying to... Scotland wants independence from the UK. They don't want nothing to do with Boris Karloff anymore. But Scotland's Boris Johnson, not to block the second independence vote, said he'd be picking a fight with Scottish people. You don't mess with Scotland. I don't know if you guys remember the movie... Braveheart, William Wallace. You don't want to mess with these people, because once they start painting their face blue, watch out. All right, let's keep going here. I read this and I'm going to read it again. Ontario medical regulator threatens to punish doctors for criticizing lockdowns.
You're talking about all man.
Oh man, can't believe this. So Saint DeSantis is suing the CDC for shutting down the country. Oh, I could donate to this too. This is great. I'm gonna call somebody. Who is this? Craig Bannister. I'm gonna get somebody on our show from this thing. What is this? CNS News. The right news right now. I'm gonna contact somebody from there and say, Saint DeSantis, we need to make a statue of him in Canada and all over the world. So he says, a lone unelected bureaucracy should not and does not have the power to indefinitely shut down an entire industry, and that's why we're suing the Center for Disease Control, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said on Wednesday. And I hope they win, and I hope they pump that money into the infrastructure where it belongs and get the country back on track. All right, where were we? Okay. So Bill C-10, a lot of people are asking about Bill C-10, but here it is. C-10 is an attempt to put a pillow over the free expression of all Canadians. Didn't pop up, go for like out of the policy burrow of the second-tier cabinet minister. Quite the contrary. This nefarious nugget was obviously the product of top-rank philosophies of the Prime Minister's office, that seniorism of the whole Liberal Party from which emerges guidance and wisdom to alleviate the lives. And so it goes into that, and it goes into saying they want to basically, in all this speech control, they want to start deplatforming YouTubers, shows like this. They want to get rid of it. But it's scary. Because I think people living in other English-speaking countries, I think they need the right to know what we're doing up here from what we're seeing with our own eyes, right? Right? You go to Immigration Census Canada, you don't see barely any people of Chinese on there, but you walk outside in one of our major cities, you see a completely different thing. So we see something else, and they tell us something else, and the rest of the world sees what they're pumping out and trying to feed to you. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's keep going here. So this one, I'm very disappointed with this, and this shows, and I'm very, very scared because we have socialized medicine in Canada, and I'm scared of this. I'm very scared when they turn people away, and that's been happening a lot. Right? So it says here, Edmonton woman who died of the vaccine-induced blood clots was turned away from the ER. And this is, so before YouTube wants to shut down my channel or flag me, this is the Canadian Broadcasting Channel News. This is actually paid for in full by the Canadian government. So this is what they're telling us here. So don't shut my channel down because I'm talking about this, because this is by our paid for, bought for government media news site that's been bailed out like 4 times now. So there it is right there. Wow. Let's move on. Trudeau accuses Conservatives of wearing tinfoil hats in Bill C-10 exchange. Wow. They say things and then they take it back and then they make fun of everybody else. That's their way of that's the liberal way of winning a negotiation or a conversation or debate, is by saying something, then responding to it, and then we respond to it, and then we get shut down and made fun of. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau accused the Conservative Party of having tinfoil hats for raising concerns about the Liberal government's internet censorship of Bill C-10. Bill C-10 is a big deal, guys. If you're watching this from America, if you're watching this from Australia, pay really close attention, because this will be coming to you, because you know why? Because Senior Biden, over there in the United States of America, keeps looking at Canada. Look at Canada. Look how good Canada is. Look how good their citizens are. And they want to bring that. They're bringing that full force, full stop to America. That's why Amerifornia is coming. U.S. vaccination sites are closing from California to Texas, Ohio again before they want to shut me down. This is from the dailymail.com from the UK. This is, again, another government-owned mainstream media from the UK, okay? U.S. vaccination sites are closing from California to Texas, Ohio, Mississippi, as demand for COVID shots plummets across the country, despite less than 28% of the population being fully inoculated. 28%, that means got the second shot, right? So there it is right there. At least 7 vaccinations sites across the U.S. are shutting down this month or next. As of Friday, just shy of 42% of Americans, nearly 53% of adults 18 and older have been or had at least one dose of the vaccine, and 35% of adults are fully vaccinated. So we're going into herd immunity in the States. If this thing is even real, the United States of America will be going into herd immunity because most people already got. I'm a herder. I'm a hereditarian. I'm a hereditarian. It's my religion. I believe in herd immunity. So I'm a hereditarian. I'm a mediatarian. Mass COVID vaccination sites closing amid failing demand. So there it is right there. So Florida, Texas, California, all these states are pretty much total, U.S. total, first dose, 40 points. That's actually pretty good with the amount of people that are... Oh, the Raven's sending me pictures. Let's get the Raven on the show. I covered enough stuff now. I want to get the Raven here. Raven needs to... I just want to see what he's sending me. Church online only. Live stream church. I don't like what they're doing to our churches. What's this? Oh, let me show you guys. The Raven is sending us pictures of wood. Look at all that money. Wow. I wouldn't... What are these coffins or what is this? Wood. It's wood, right? This is stacks of wood here. It looks like they're crates or some sorts. But it looks like it's all stacks of wood here. And, you know, like, this is like I would actually... If I own that wood, it would be like a Miami... like Scarface type of scene. I'll have guys with machine guns protecting that. You know what I'm saying? I would have guys there with machine guns sitting there protecting that wood. It's worth more. That wood's worth more than pure. It's more pure and better wood than pure as the driven snow. Anyways, let's get Senior Raven on the show. Let me give him a call and see what is going on in his neck of the woods. I want to get him on video so you could see his beautiful beard that he has. Let's see if he could come on with this beautiful beard.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How you doing? Can we see your beard, or you want to hide?
No, no. I'll. You know what? I'll come on in the next week or so. I'll come on.
Okay.
I just, yeah. It's cold out. I'm walking down I'm in a ghost town. This place is like I've been coming here for 14 years. The gas station's closed. I've never seen that before. In 14 years, on a Saturday night, it's locked up. It's shut down. This place is a ghost town. I'm walking. I'm looking at all the buildings here. I'm reading all these signs here. Notice: face mask required. COVID. Careful for my customers. Shut down online. These people are. This is their livelihood here. They're done.
So let me ask you something. Have you been watching the show?
Yeah, well, yeah, I've been listening to it a little bit. I just got, when I parked my train, I was just, I got to work here. Like I've been at work since 1:30, but I'm out of town now on my layover, and I just kind of finished my shift when the show started. So I was kind of just getting,
I kind of want to throw something out there. The reason why I'm asking is because Governor DeSantis is suing the CDC. They're auditing death certificates. It's a conservative state, Florida, and they're pushing for, like, hey, we're done with this BS. They stopped COVID. It's illegal and unconstitutional to have COVID passports, the whole 9 yards in Florida. This is, I think Florida, or Governor DeSantis of Florida, is Canada's biggest enemy, because they're talking about a fourth wave in Canada. We can't reopen a fourth wave. Am I just delusional, or are they Canada trying to push this to the next election so they can do mail-in ballots? Let me know, Raven.
Well, I want to say one thing, but I can't. Is it misdirection? Are they trying to get the people stirred up, building their team stronger? That's going to be a very strong team in Florida, anti-everything. What's the real story there? I know everybody wants to say, hey, Florida's doing good. They're not, no passports, yay, Florida. But are they just building up the other side of the team? Because this is all about prejudices. This is all about division. That's all these guys are doing. But, yeah, I always try to look at it from a different angle. I don't believe them. I don't trust them. He's one of them. Maybe he is genuine, Maybe he is.
I hope he's
maybe
genuine, because we have no more superheroes anymore.
Well, we do. We have nurses and doctors. They're our superheroes. We gave them all capes,
Well, I'm talking
now.
about like could leap over a building and faster than a locomotive. Those superheroes.
Yeah.
And DeSantis is showing that right now in Florida. And I spoke to my friend Manny down in Miami. I spoke to Tony down in Fort Lauderdale. They're like, Mike, I don't know what you guys are crying for up there. I don't even know. He's like, I'm following now Canadian news just to see what they're trying to sell you guys. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, can I bring up a couple topics there?
Go ahead.
Just a few things that have happened in the last while, but this little town I'm in a week ago, maybe 4 days ago, I was in the restaurant and the two cops walked in, and I started talking to them. small town, and it's maybe 4 cops work here. But I was talking to him, and he said, I said, how are we going to stop this? And he says, he looks at me, this big, mean looking cop. He says, you guys all got to stand up at the same time, else this ain't going to end. You know, they know. Some cops know. They truly are awake and know, and they are rooting for us to stand up. Right? That was just one instance I had run into. There's a guy I work with who's now in an induced coma. He's a guy I know. He's a friend of mine. He's in an induced coma in the intensive care in Winnipeg. That's not looking good. His lungs are 40% saturated.
What do you mean? What happened to him?
COVID. We had a COVID, a taxi cab, because we take a lot of taxis for Deadhead, and a taxi cab driver gave him COVID. He's a friend of mine, and he had some underlying conditions. I guess some comorbidities. He had I think, he had asthma and diabetes. He's a big guy, 6'7". He's 6'7". 390 pounds, 400 pounds. He's a big guy. He had some health conditions, but COVID got him, and he's been sick for 10 days now. They put him in a coma, and it doesn't look very well for him. And so I know that my company has. I don't want to say too much about that anyway, but yeah, we do have a guy, so I'm seeing it firsthand. And other than that. That's one thing, but so I am seeing it because I never really knew anybody. Like I knew guys that said they had it, they didn't really notice it. But if you're sick, if you have underlying conditions, you're gonna have a hard time with it. And then other than that, I wanted to bring up that Bill Gates and Melinda Gates getting divorced. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's huge. That is huge. I can't tell you how big that is. Bill and Melinda Gates getting divorced in the middle of a global vaccine rollout when there's vaccine hesitancy everywhere, right? Do you think that's a good idea? No, that's not a good idea. You think Hillary and Bill would still be married? No, they stay married because it's perception to the people, right? It's all about perception. You can't divorce. And then people will say, oh, well, there's probably a crash coming and they're looking at saving money. No, this ain't about money. This is a very big deal. I think the people at the top have said, here, you guys do this, keep all the money you make off your vaccines, but this is the outcome that we want. But for them to get divorced, and she's like one of our largest shareholders now. He gave her like 11 million shares in our company. You don't get divorced. You don't show misery in a rollout. You have to remain together as a couple. That's huge that they did that. I can't wrap my mind around why they did that. I've been thinking on it and thinking. It can't be about money. These guys are not.
Didn't that other idiot get a divorce recently too? What's his name? What's that other idiot?
Bezos. Bezos.
Yeah, didn't he get a divorce recently too?
Yeah, he did. I would be more curious. Why did Bezos step down right when his company's firing on all cylinders? That I find suspect. Why did all those CEOs step down in 2019, November, December? Well, I think we know why they all stepped down. But why are they I think they may be even forcing them to step down. It's a lot of speculation, right? But that Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, don't think for 1 second, man. You do not get divorced in a vaccine rollout. You are the poster children of vaccine. We can't see hesitation in your life choices. That's huge. There's something there. That's something really big. Don't let that one pass by. They are the poster children of vaccines. They've been working on this for decades. You don't divorce in the middle of a global vaccine rollout. You see the importance of that? When I saw that, I was like, no way, man. No way. That's a big red flag right there. Then we jump over to Prince Harry. That little. Well, I don't want to swear on your channel.
Yeah, I know that we saw him there too at LA concert or something. Like it's like
exactly. They're using prejudices, right? Just like the Germans did. They'll use prejudices to get what they want. They left the Queen, right? Mm-hmm. And to get the entire royal family, you don't got to get the Queen. All you got to get is Andrew. You got him. You got the whole family. They got that whole family. Unless you want to start seeing videos of Andrew, we don't want that. So anyways, you got them. They're going to do whatever you want. Prince Harry and his wife left the royal family and I guess moved to Toronto. And then they did an interview about how racist the royal family is, right? Look at the BLM movement. Look what these people are doing. They're dividing this entire country, on both countries. They're dividing. They're using the prejudices. They're causing chaos. But now that little, I want to call them names. I can't call them names. Gotta stop swearing. Okay. That little Prince Harry is now on stage saying, take the vaccine. He's one of them. That tells me the prejudice story, the interview, was all BS. That's what these people are. Misdirection, that's what they're doing. Put the pieces of this puzzle together. That's who these people are. I've been watching that. I wanted to tell you that, but I didn't get on there last week. You can see it, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Prince Harry, oh, they're racist. They're racist. But he's up there telling you to take the vaccine, and we all know about that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in it with them. He's in it with them. Just like Trump is in it with them, dividing the nation, making everybody think MAGA. Forget Trump. He's the same as Biden. These people are all in this together. This is a big global effort. Huge. And the misdirection they use is genius. At times, if you know what to look for, you can see it. You know, that's about all I want to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
See, just give people something to think about. Watch these people. They're not who they say. They're not, this is all, it's just a big scam. It's all a big scam.
Well, if any of these people actually said who they were, they would not be in public then.
Well, you know what? And in a way they do. Like, look at Klaus Schwab. Oh, there's going to be an event that's going to make COVID look like a small distraction in the area of cyber pandemic. He is telling you. He's telling you. He's predictive programming you. And look what Layla sent me a story about that pipeline that just shut down, 2.5 million barrels a day because of a cyber attack.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw that one.
We covered it at the beginning of the show. That was the first story.
Yeah. So it's hitting. You see it. It's hitting here and there. Little cyber attacks, this and that. Those are going to become more, I think the whole thing is going to get more chaos, more civil war-ish. And they're just going to keep pumping it. It's, you know what? Death by 1,000 cuts. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's not going to be one thing biblical. It will be biblical, that's for sure. I just think with the amount of traction that the protests are getting, these things are reaching critical mass, and they're growing fast. And when 300,000 people march through your street, other people tend to march with them. That thing's going to be exponential. And when the heat of the summer comes, those things are going to be so big, you guaranteed they're sitting in offices right now and they're talking about curbing these protests. How are they going to do that? Bill C-10, they're going to let you keep running, Mike. Mm-hmm. They're not cutting these channels. We're too useful. They got us all right where they want us. They watch us. They know where we all are. We confess to them every day. Come and get me. I know it, I'm against your jab. I'm against what you guys are doing. They know me. They got me right there. They didn't have to come looking for me. They got me right on your channel. They'll let you keep going. They got all of us, everyone in this room who comments and makes an opinion that's dissent to their operation. They got all of us. So I've been chewing a lot of Nicorette gum today. I might be a little bit edgy.
All right, you quit smoking?
No. Just someone, I didn't have any gum, and my friend said, oh, here, but they're Nicorette gum. I said, I don't care. So I was chewing. I was like, holy mackerel, it's like a head rush.
Oh, you're getting a head rush from Nicorette gum?
Yeah, I got rid of it. But that's what I was chewing before I talked.
So maybe can you talk about for a few seconds here about the mosquitoes that are being launched in South Florida?
750,000. That's Gates, right?
Yeah, here it is. There's lots. First batch genetically modified mosquitoes, a mega swarm of gene hacking mosquitoes. So why are they doing this?
Personally, that's how I would have come at it. I would have they're all like little nurses with needles. That's what I would have done. You would have thought mosquitoes kill 750,000 people a year, Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was looking at the death. What do sharks, dogs, and mosquitoes? I was surprisingly 750,000 people a year. But that's what I would have used was mosquitoes. But are they controllable? Are they going to get out? Can they breed and just keep? And then it's everywhere. I don't know.
It's on the Weather Channel. The Weather Network's talking about it. They are programmed to kill larvae and wow.
Mike, we're killing so much stuff on this planet right now. How many species are we losing a day? You know, they're dealing with it. Trust me. They're dealing with it. We're running out of everything. We're running out of all our metals, our lumber, our water, our land, our fish. But you know what? Get rid of 7 billion people. We got plentiful everything. You know, you don't got to reprice gold. You got to reprice the population.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's Rickard say? If you reprice gold to 50 grand an ounce, you got enough gold. I say if you get rid of 7 billion people, you got enough gold at 1,800 an ounce.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just going to reprice the population. That solves all problems. Go get your jab.
Did you get your jab yet for work?
No. Oh, there's another thing. 2 weeks ago today, there was that protest rally in Winnipeg.
Right, but here, I was looking for it here, and they said that there was a pro-Trump rally, and there was like 90 people there.
Well, there was over 2,000 at that rally.
I know there was 2,000 because somebody debunked them on another YouTube channel and debunked them and said the media in BC is saying there's 90 people at a pro-Trump rally in Winnipeg, in downtown, and there was 2,000 people. So I don't know why the media keeps spinning this crap.
Somebody's watching Facebook very closely because 2 of my friends who were there are now going in this week for investigations with union officials for breaking Manitoba's Health Act and jeopardizing the employees that they work with by showing up at that rally last Saturday. Somebody's going through the Facebook posts and finding pictures of my coworkers at that rally and calling them in one by one for investigation. And we think they might fire one guy. He's riding dirty with demerits, so that's why I don't take pictures. I don't put stuff on Facebook like that. But they got 2 guys that I know that I don't want to say too much about that rally, but they got 2 guys and they're going in this week, so they'll be answering. I think that's a little overreaching from a company because one guy was 2 weeks into his vacation and he had 2 weeks left, and in the middle he went to that rally. And the company's saying you're coming in for investigation. They suspended a couple teachers at that rally, and I heard they took a license away from a chiropractor. Now they're coming after us, who are blue-collar workers, for attending a rally.
So you attend a rally, and people are losing their licenses for practicing and all this stuff.
Yeah, yes. And in Ottawa, I watched today in Ottawa, I think it was yesterday or today in Ottawa, I think it was today, 50 people showed up to that rally, and every single one of them got an $880 ticket. Every single one of them got an $880 ticket. Talk about trying to suppress, eh? Well, too bad. The weather's going to get warm. Last year, there was 20 at the rally. This year, there was 2,500. By summer, there's going to be tens of thousands. Everybody's going to come out because these lockdowns they're overreaching. They're too much.
Well, but then they're going to have to erase Florida from the whole equation, because if people look and start seeing all Texas, Florida, all these other states, Texas has been open since March the 3rd. We got issues here in Canada because it's a complete different paradigm that we're looking at. We're looking at a complete different universe then.
I'm very questionable about what they're doing in the States with Florida and that, Texas. I do believe they're trying to build opposition between the citizens of the country. I do believe it's black against white, gay against straight, mask against no mask, Democrat, Republican. And these anti-vaxxers, I argue with these people. I argued with doctors, 2 doctors this week online. I was just arguing back and forth with these people. Anything you bring up, they write it off as quackery. Oh, that guy's a quack. Oh, that guy's a quack. You know what? If so many doctors are quacks, how the hell are these guys getting licenses? There's thousands of them coming out of the woodworks, But
there's an article I brought up here earlier that states, hold on, I'll bring it up right now so you could see it, for people at home could see it. Here it is. This isn't a joke. This is actually for real. Ontario medical regulator threatens to punish doctors for criticizing lockdowns.
Exactly. Yeah. If that doesn't, how many red flags? Like right from the start, everything's a red flag. What really gets me is a great portion of the population it's like something was in the water and it shut off something in their brain that they can't and refuse to even look at the very basic information. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. It doesn't take very long to figure it out.
Can I
It's like
can I
you could
ask
give them
you
100. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you something about this. What about all those Nobel Peace Prize winners that got stripped of their prizes and scientists that got fired and demoted and all that stuff in 2007 when they went against global warming and said it was, the science doesn't add up? They got fired and lost. Now it's climate change. Do they get their jobs back and their awards back for being right? Or then now it's climate crisis. So they don't know what to spin anymore. This is crazy.
Well, you're talking about an institution that gave out an award to Barack Obama for a peace prize.
I guess, they should put an inflation on that. They should be giving a Nobel Peace Prize every 25 minutes now. Yeah,
but I did watch this one video. I'm sure people have seen it. It's a really good one. It's 7 minutes. It's the guy's name, I can't remember his name, but he's an analyst. He's a national intelligence analyst. He's got a PhD. David E. Mercer, maybe, I think his name is. That guy said, what we do is we track all patents in the world. 1/4 of them, when you take away the language, are fraudulent.
Mm-hmm.
We track anything that looks shadowy around the world in 167 countries. He said, we track it all. They locked in on Anthony Fauci back in 99. And his partner, who they bought the rights to the coronavirus, they patented it. And he said, you can't patent nature, for one thing. So it had to be tinkered with. And if you tinkered with it, then you break the laws on bioweaponry, right? So if you patent nature, it's illegal. And if you patent a bioweapon, it's illegal. So it's illegal either way. But these guys locked down the money behind coronavirus. And when you watch this guy talk, it's very simple. You can realize the whole thing. Once it started to get sticky in 2015, they sent all the work to the Wuhan lab. And then they hid everything in shell companies. I can't explain it the way he did so eloquently and straightforward, but these guys are crooked as hell. These guys own this right from the start. And that's the guy you're listening to who's telling us all what we should do.
Mm-hmm.
This guy owns the whole thing. It's unbelievable. Yet nobody investigates. We can't have a national debate. We can't bring our people there. So let's get this over with. Let's just bring the facts, put the facts on the table.
I spoke to somebody from Ottawa the other day. They said they were very upset that a lot of the Liberal Party and people of the Liberal Party are very upset that the Bill C-10 wasn't passed before the COVID pandemic, and to shut down. They should have shut this down before the COVID, and then this way they would have They said, this is what they said in their own words, that they would have a better grip on the people if this Bill C-10 was passed in 2019.
What they're doing is very delicate. Hitler said, take a small piece. Don't take too large of a piece of their rights because they'll notice. What they're doing is delicate. Trump, Biden, Fauci, Gate, their handlers are telling them how to operate. And they'll say, like, okay, they have central banks pretty much everywhere. We know where they don't. That's where we were. So they'll say, okay, China, you guys are going to take the lead on cryptocurrencies. It's all about location. You'll take the lead on cryptos. That way the Americans will want cryptos because they'll see them falling behind. They'll feel that we're losing, we're falling behind. So then it was easier for them to roll out cryptos in the U.S. because China took the lead on it, right? Everything has its location. Cyprus, let's do a bank bail-in. We'll try it out in Cyprus. India, let's pull the money off the shelves, 501,000 rupees. These guys deal in different areas of the world. They try stuff. Canada's getting a censorship bill. That will eventually be rolled into the U.S. That's going to move around here and there. They're doing land grabs all over. In Chile, in
You're
India.
breaking up. You're breaking up, Raven. I'm not sure. Maybe point your phone up a little bit higher or take it off your ear and put it on speaker. I want to thank McLadden Jovanik for sending me $3 Canadian. Thank you very much. Blunt News sent me another $2 and he's saying game over. Thank you very much.
It is game over, Mike. It is. I don't see a way out of this. I don't. People will get upset. People get mad. These guys are just going to keep doing what they're going to do. They know they got us. We never stood up. We're not standing up. A little bit of protest here and there. I don't see a way out, and I don't know what's happening with that vaccine. The minute they force me, I'm done working here. I'm not taking it. As long as I can hold out, I don't know what to do. I'm not taking it though. I'll die on that sword.
This one made me very upset. Edmonton woman who died of the vaccine-induced blood clot was turned away from the emergency room.
Look at how many thousands of women, their menstrual cycles all whacked out of just by getting close. I traded off in Winnipeg. The train pulled in. The guy gets out. Hey, I got vaccinated. I said, get the hell away from me. Stay away from me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't even want to get near you. And then we have these sanitation guys go in, and I told them, make sure you clean that side of the engine good, eh? Like, there's doctors' offices in the States. They won't allow these guys in their office because they'll kill the fertility of the girls that come there. It's causing all kinds of problems, and the suppression of the problems. Look at all the harm. Like on Facebook, they wiped off 120 posts on negative side effects. They're suppressing it all around the world. Any other vaccine would have been pulled after 50 deaths. I was reading that the other day. 50 deaths. What was it? Was it SARS or the swine flu? 50 deaths, and the vaccine was pulled. But for some reason, they're not pulling this vaccine. They're not pulling them. They're just letting them go. So, that was I was reading that doctor's report. He said he had something to do with those vaccines being pulled. He said these would have been pulled a long time ago. It would never got to this many deaths, but for some reason they're not pulling it.
I know Japan, at the MMR, whatever that one in Japan, was doing something to women, so they actually almost immediately pulled that vaccine in Japan.
Yeah.
It was back in 2015 or 2014. It was MMR1 or something. They just said, no, we're not. And that's when Japan put a stance against, or put its foot down against the, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Against this whole vaccine thing. All right, Raven, your phone's breaking up pretty bad. We're going to let you go. You've been talking for half an hour. We're getting into our second hour of the show. We'll get you on again next week to kind of fill in a few gaps for us and kind of give us an update on what's happening. And, I appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Yeah, no worries. Have a good night.
God bless you.
Bye. Okay, bye.
That is the Raven. Unfortunately, his phone is going into these... He'll replay this, Raven, if you're listening to us right now, replay the conversation and see if your phone company, you could tell them, look, I'm going in and out, I'm phasing in and out. But, wow, this is a lot. There's a lot going on, guys. So, I kind of wanted to, these Manitoba so, guys, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know why they're pulling this, but here it is again. Fourth wave of COVID-19, likely if Canada reopens too fast. And then we have a completely different side of things. DeSantis, I'm going to call him Saint DeSantis. Actually, DeSantis means the saints in Spanish. Dos Santos, DeSantis, is the saints in Spanish. That's what it means. We're suing the CDC because one unelected bureaucracy doesn't have authority to close an entire U.S. industry. So Florida has made it illegal for COVID passports, made it illegal for almost everything. So here it is. A lone, unelected bureaucracy should not and does not have the power to indefinitely shut down an entire industry, and that's why we're suing the Centers for Disease Control, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said on Wednesday. From requiring summer camp kids to wear masks outdoors to promoting an agenda of teachers, unions, and devastating Florida's cruise and tourism industry, the CDC has exceeded its authority, DeSantis said at a press event in Satellite Beach, Florida, the Daily Wire reports. So there it is right there. And not only that, they're reporting a ton of things where there's no more. It was on the one of the mainstream medias in the ABC News was reporting that no more COVID passports. It's against human rights. No more, like everywhere is reporting that Florida's basically, they're going to start auditing their death certificates too. And they're going to find out what's going on there in Florida. So Florida, Saint DeSantis, I'm gonna make him a saint before he dies. I really, really appreciate someone wearing a cape and dodging the bullets, because this is a bunch of BS that's happening. And I don't know. And then in Canada, it's almost like Florida doesn't exist. we're going into a fourth wave now. Lockdown 3. That's in Manitoba. Lockdown 4. And in China, you know what they're talking about? A fifth wave coming. A fifth wave.
You're talking about all man.
Yeah. All right, let's get... I want to get Nitin on the show. He's in... I think he's in Bangalore. In India. I want to see if he picks up his phone. He's in the heart of India, and I want to find out what the heck is going on. Oh, Blunt, you sent me another $2. He messaged me. Nitin messaged me. Hello. Wake up. I think it's early in the morning there in India. Let's see if I could maybe try and calling him again. I want to get someone in India that could tell us what the heck is happening there. So we're not getting a response. So he's going to see that I tried calling him. Globetrotter Mike sent me something from Rebel News. Yeah, World War could be triggered. Oh, okay, hold on. We got something here. Hold on. This is what we were talking about 2 weeks ago on the show. We have a correspondent on the Russian border there that might call into the show. A correspondent that watches Mike in the Night on the Russian border there on the, whatchamacallit, that city. Forgot the name of the city he's on. This crisis has the potential to escalate to a pan-European or world war. Russian military analyst claims Moscow's buildup of troops and tanks on the Ukraine border could turn hot within as little as 4 weeks. So we've been talking about a hot war coming. Could it be true, or could it be just discussion? Could it be clickbait? Right? So we're seeing a lot of buildup of tanks, a lot of military movement going along. Here it is. This is the map right here. This is the one I wanted to show. This is it right here. So there's the Ukrainian, there's the region right there. That's the Donbass region there. That is obviously part of Russia. There's Belarus up here. And there's Crimea down here. And you got water here. So that's water there, in case you're wondering. Because the map isn't too clear. But there's the water there. So you got this region being built up in the Donbass region. It's a buffer area here. So there's 4,000 newly deployed Russian troops and 28,000 pro-Moscow rebels. So there it is there. So I'm not too sure what the buildup or what is going on, but I don't have anyone on this specific region. The person that I have in discussion with is not on that part of Russia. He's more on the St. Petersburg side right there. There you go. There's Putin. Who is that guy? Then you got some of these tanks here. This is Kremlin said Thursday. Ukraine and the West should not worry about Russian troop movement on the Ukrainian border. Picture a tank of pro-Russian militants of the self-proclaimed Donetsk People's Region Republic. So there it is there. So a lot of military traffic going through. There's a military analyst, Pavel. We should get someone like this on the show that could tell us what's going on there. A military analyst. And that'd be nice to get a military analyst on the show, actually. To somebody that could actually break down what is happening in the Ukrainian. So we're going to keep our eye on this. If anyone knows anyone in this region who could fill us in, I got somebody on the Mexican-U.S. border, like Mexican, Uruguay, like the country, the next country from Mexico south, and Belize and stuff. I know people on the Mexican border of the southern border of Mexico that message me all the time and tell me what's going on with the flow of immigrants coming from Honduras and Colombia and Nicaragua and all these other places, right? The migrant train, right? So we got Brother John, Mike. Brother John says, "Hi, Mike. I just talked with someone from India 2 days ago. The COVID deaths have been suppressed, but the government and election info leaking. Well, what's happening in India is, remember, they had a massive 200,000 men protest for 6 months there, and yeah, India was in heavy. It's kind of funny how every country that's in severe protest or in civil unrest has this sickness come around. It just starts to appear. And the media obviously has a grip on the people, and that's a major, major, major issue. Let me message Globetrotter Mike. Got it. Just shared it on the show. There we go. Globetrotter Mike. We got the Raven here. We got Layla messaging me with a link. Let me see what she sent him. Oh, it's a YouTube video. Oh, our friend. I love this guy. This guy talks about mobility. I don't think this guy, like, I don't know if you guys remember what's his name said. What does he know about mobility? That was, Gerald Celente said that. Doug Ford warns of fourth wave as he calls for tighter border restrictions. Okay, here's the deal. All right, guys, let me tell you the deal. Okay, I don't want to watch this stupid video. Let me tell you what the deal is here. I just want this. I want to pause this thing from. I just want to see Mr. Mobility here. So, I've spoken to quite a few people that have been, you know, I'm a fan of. I've been talking. You know, they've been watching you on and off for years. Blah blah blah. Housing this that. People that I've never emailed me before, emailing me. I get like 100, 200, 300 emails per day, right? There was one weekend where I got 4,500 emails. So imagine I had as many emails as subscribers I had on YouTube. Holy crap. Anyways, messaging me saying, Mike, I want to get the heck out of here. I want out of Canada. Like, I'm this. I have a certificate in this. And I'm just going to go live in a van until I could get employment and show my credentials and work anywhere in the States. I'll work as a taxi driver if I have to get my feet on the ground. Like, they want out of Canada. There's a lot of professionals that want to get the heck out of Canada. They want to get out of Dodge. Yeah. Layla saying AI is rolling out in Canada. Guys, just a quick channel plug. 1 minute, 1 second here. Guys, Mike in the Night Amerifornia Tour 2021 is organized. We are going to go across America with Lord Humongous. He's raising funds. Whoa! Somebody donated. He's got $20. So, guys, we got Martine and Margaret O'Connor. So, guys, here's the link to Lord Humongous's Amerifornia Tour. Guys, Amerifornia Tour, he's going to be broadcasting for the channel. He's going to upload to his YouTube channel stuff. He's going to be broadcasting live. When we're live, he's going to come on. He's going to go to different parts of America, kind of show what's happening, maybe talk about reopening areas, places that are going back on lockdown, figuring out what is going on. And Scott is asking, are you allowed to go to the U.S. without a visa? Yes, but the problem is you can't get back in, like, apparently now you can't get back into Canada. That's what they're saying in the news, without a COVID passport. So there it is right there. Lord Humongous, don't forget to support the cause. All right, let me see if Layla could talk for a few minutes here and give us a rundown on what is happening in her view of things. She's in Egypt right now. So I think it's like 7 in the morning in Egypt.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, Layla, how you doing, my friend?
How are you?
I'm doing
Good.
fantastic. So we got your friend. You sent me a video of your friend here. Okay, let me find it here. Where the heck did I put that article? Sorry, guys. Of your friend Doug Ford there. Here it is.
Dougie. Yeah.
Mr. Mobility here, basically saying
Yes,
that
indeed.
another, what is this here? Doug Ford, a fourth wave. Layla, what's going on? Why are we seeing different things in Florida? Why are we seeing things completely different in Canada?
Yeah, Florida is, but you know, some funny things are happening in Florida as well. Last week or so, they released genetically modified mosquitoes
Right.
in Florida.
Well, we covered that
to
earlier in the
try
show.
to
That's a
yeah,
major deal.
to try to take over the local population over there. I think it's a major deal. I don't think it's a joke, and I don't think it's a good thing either.
Hmm.
They're running these kinds of experiments down there, but yeah, I mean, you're right from this COVID perspective and these retarded moves. I don't think they're implementing crazy stuff like they are in Ontario or Manitoba or Alberta now. Watch Alberta.
Okay, let me throw something out there if you don't mind. Are they moving this and they're going to keep this going till 2023 so they could roll it into the next election with mail-in ballots? Or am I just delusional about this mail-in ballot thing in Canada?
I don't think the election matters at all. And I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be more than 2023. It's gonna shapeshift. It's gonna take on different forms. But to say that the local elections is what matters is, I don't see how that is anything related to anything, Mike. This is a global thing. Now we're in India. India is being destroyed with hundreds of thousands supposedly dying from this.
Hmm.
It's like the new Wuhan for the variants. Just like we were last year. Remember when it broke out in Wuhan, and within months, it was like all over the world. Now it looks like the same thing is happening, but with the variant, with India just being the alarm state. But the elections, no, the elections don't matter at all.
Okay.
And then what if you think you have someone else in office? This is going to disappear. This is not run by the people in office. This is run by the people who run the people in office.
That's right. I just want to throw a concern out there. Mitch Madden says his mom is in a vegetative state with not much time left, and she was doing fine before the vax. So, tonight say a prayer for Mitch Madden's mom, who's not doing well and is in a vegetative state right now. So, continue.
Yes, he said. So sorry. Yeah, so sorry. I think I missed part of what the Raven was talking about, but he sent me an article about the Bill and Melinda Gates divorce and how Bill Gates is transferring 1.8 billion to Melinda's portfolio, while that covers CN. You know that Bill Gates is a major stakeholder in CN, right, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
And so it seems that the divorce is not a divorce, like this is a clown show. The issue is much, much bigger. And I don't know if we even got to talk about that, but I think he's right.
He did. He talked about it, and he was very. He says there's something really shady going on. There's a back end to it, and then why would they unroll this? He said in his words, "Why would they unroll this during a planned inoculation of the world?"
It's very, very important, and I think it's a wealth transfer tactic. We don't even know if they were married to start with. I mean, these people have, I mean, their lives. It's just part of the show. We don't really know how they live. But it sounds like it's a massive wealth transfer. And notice everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So the Enbridge line, the Pipeline XL, these are shutting down, and they're restructuring the railway and the grid in Texas and connecting everything from top to bottom. It just looks like they're doing this major restructuring right now. And yeah, because he's right. Raven's right. I mean, it's really weird timing for people who are leading the vaccine effort, that they should split up now. Looks like something is more important than the vaccine effort, because that's underway now. It's rolling out on its own. It's on autopilot. But yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's important.
Okay, let's open a few articles here and maybe go over a couple of major stories. You sent me a few of these here.
The shortages, yeah, the shortages. Did you see the shortages? There's a whole bunch coming in.
So the cyber attack.
Oh yeah, here's another one.
Mm.
Yes, that pipeline is shutting down. So Enbridge, XL, this one, and now the green energy and the electric stuff, and the railway. Mike, I sent you a small screenshot. I was doing a bit of I was looking up what happens if line 5 shuts down.
Mm-hmm.
or if you can't move oil by pipeline, well, it means that the price of oil and the price of propane is 3 times if it's transported by railway, which is
Or by
what
truck, yeah.
4 times if it's by truck. It's 4 times more expensive if it's by truck.
Mm-hmm.
And the Gates folks have their hand in the railway now, so they're gonna be making a whole lot of money from this shortage, in addition to everything else they do.
You actually
You see
tipped us
what's
off a
going on
month and a
here.
half ago, 2 months ago, to buy CN stock.
Yeah, I was watching the story for a while. I think that's why Raven sent me that divorce story my way, because it mentions how there's going to be a transfer of wealth, and that wealth is majorly invested in CN. It's going to be transferred to this portfolio called Cascade or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got that right. Yeah, it just looks like it's a restructuring. Like, it has nothing to do with their divorce, and this is more important than what's going on right now with COVID. And other newspapers like CNN and Fox News, they're all warning about shortages,
Mm-hmm.
propane and gas, and other things. Chlorine is a big one. I think it's a big
Yeah, I heard
one. They're
about that
like,
one actually.
yeah,
Yeah,
the swimming pool issue. No, this is not a swimming pool issue. Chlorine cleans your water. I know chlorine is bad for you, but I mean, if um like it just still needs to run in sewer water and everything else that comes to your home, because if it didn't, it would kill proper. There's too many viruses, too many bacteria, too many dirty things in water for it not to require chlorine. I mean, of course, filter your water at home, but I mean, in terms of the bigger infrastructure in a city or a town, if there's no chlorine in the water, they're gonna, this can be another outbreak, right, of viruses through the water.
well, for sure. If the, you start getting the water pooling and it starts to smell and it doesn't move as much, and you're not putting in those ingredients to break down the waste, so to say.
Yeah, in a swimming pool, but I'm saying they
Oh,
also
I'm
use
talking about in
chlorine
our in the water system before, when they, like Lake
oh,
Ontario,
water
people are
system. Yeah,
drinking
yeah.
feces that live in Toronto because that water is being
That's
recycled, right?
that's right. So if there's no chlorine, then this whole situation can be compromised. But they're not saying anything about this yet. They're just talking about your swimming pool, and if we're going to lock down in the summer, there's going to be a huge demand for swimming pools, and people need to stock up on their chlorine tablets. We're not talking about the water system yet. Let's see.
Scott is asking, can you just boil your water to clean it?
I
Like,
don't know.
can you do that?
I have no idea, to be honest. What does he mean by that exactly?
Well, people boil water. Like, I know there's a boil water effect
boil
in
it.
some parts of BC now for 10 years where people have to boil the water if they want to drink it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it depends, I guess. But boiling water doesn't remove some things like heavy
Contaminants
metals.
and all kinds of weird crap.
Yeah, it might kill living things like viruses, bacteria, but it doesn't remove things like heavy metals, because those aren't living. They're just minerals and metals
Mm-hmm.
like lead and others, mercury, all of these things. And I think also some organisms don't really go away with boiling.
We got this here. States with the strictest lockdowns ruined livelihoods without saving lives. So they're trying to say now that states that were open and states that remained closed, it was just a waste of time to shut down parts of the economy that didn't need to be shut down, and it didn't do what it was supposed to do. This is the New York Post posting this.
Yeah, they have a knack for just contradictions all over the place. I call them sedatives. It makes people feel that that someone is speaking up for them, but they're not. I think it's just a way to vent. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the New York Post. New York Post is trash. It's like the New York Times. They're not. They're with the agenda. You can be sure.
Wait,
they're not trying to.
Isn't it the New York Compost? I'm just joking.
Yes. Oh, exactly. Yeah. Who's that? Mark Dice, I think, calls it that. Yeah.
Mark
No,
Alexander
the
Dice. Yeah.
The Washington Compost, I think he refers to it. Yeah.
Guys, don't forget to share this stream. Guys, I don't know what it is, Layla. I'm gonna throw something at you here real quick. I don't know what it is, but I was talking to somebody from Ottawa the other day, and they're like, Mike, we don't know how or why you're still doing your show. Like, you're not attacking anyone specifically. You approach the topics in a very rounded way where you're not really, but I'm surprised you're still running. And Lord Humongous told me that the other day too. I'm surprised they let you run your stream, or like, with all these other places or these other guys. Do you think we're in some sort of lockdown in YouTube? Because my channel doesn't grow, so it doesn't go anywhere. But do you think, Layla, in all fairness, that they put us in a position in YouTube, like in a file folder somewhere, where they don't even know we're here anymore? Like, they could totally forgot we're here.
I agree, and I don't think this is just about being a political channel. I think I've told you that before. I know of others with very, channels that are completely unrelated to politics or anything even slightly controversial, and they've seen a stagnant growth and no more income, and all of the issues and subscriber count freezing and things like that. I think the algo gets in the way, but I also think that YouTube isn't making as much money as before, and they did post losses. That means they can't share their revenue income or their advertising income with as many creators, and so they're going to limit the growth, because you can't grow and not get income, right? If you're monetized. But I think it's also the algo. Like, a lot of people saw that. Not just political channels, the way the suggestion works, that really affected what viewers are seeing, and how far out creators are able to push their videos. You see, it's become a lot more limited, a lot more narrow scope of suggestion.
Okay. All right, I want to throw this out there. Ontario medical regulator threatens to punish doctors for criticizing lockdowns. A lot of doctors and nurses have been relieved of their positions, and there was huge layoffs across Canada last year in 2020 for nurses. And there's a lot. I've received emails from people in these positions that have told me that if I go against anything, they've already made it very clear.
Yeah. This is I think this is a major, what do you want to call it? A major item that's been checked off. This idea that health is centralized. Health decisions, health assessments, and judgment is ever more centralized. So through the COVID thing, a lot more doctors, a lot more nurses are not able to operate, out of their own skill and knowledge and experience. It's like there are centralized guidelines that dictate how they're supposed to treat patients, how they're supposed to interpret their symptoms and assess them and deal with them. That has become centralized the world over.
Well,
and that is going to be really
socialized
key.
Medicine.
Yeah, well, that's going to be really key for the next phase. And there's been a lot said about this week in Canadian news and elsewhere, that AI is basically taking over medicine, and not just regular medicine, like physical, but also mental health. So it's Mental Health Week, and happy Mental Health Week, Mike, in Canada. And of course, there's a huge spike in calls and these kinds of issues in Canada. So I read a number, 44% in some parts increase in mental health issues, which is basically, crisis and a lot of suicide kind of calls.
Well, we covered,
and of course the opioid crisis as well.
Well,
and now they're
February?
saying telehealth is here to stay.
I love telehealth.
And telehealth and online health for everything, mental health and everything else, is here to stay. And they've got these AI systems coming into play, like chatbots and AI support, that is going to be, it does the triage, it assesses your needs, and things like that. And all of that is still in training. I think it's too early. I think the bots are still being trained. It's too early to have a system, but it seems like they've trained a lot of them during the COVID, because you have these spikes. So the numbers help, like to have more, to have bigger numbers helps the system, helps the algo train the AI, and that's well underway. And we have also supportive, like the technology. So for example, um, I think it's the Monk Cardiac School in Toronto, Mike. You know,
Mhm.
that's the big heart health hospital. They're rolling out the Apple Watch for blood pressure and diabetes and all sorts of things, you know, and there's a lot of tech out there, like Google's Vampire Watch. Now, Google never rolled out their Vampire Watch, but their Vampire Watch is basically a watch that takes very tiny blood samples. You know, like you don't even feel it, just barely. And it's absorbed by the watch, and the watch analyzes it, and that's, you know, that goes online.
Wow.
They created
So they got a
the
watch that takes
smart,
your blood and analyzes your blood. But let's go back to
yeah.
the suicide thing
But
you were talking about earlier.
you don't even need that anymore, because if you can do it with pulse and electricity, you know, that's good enough. That might work. And a combination of AI things, that might be good enough. But it
Wow.
depends, I guess, what you're testing.
Okay,
Yeah, Mike.
I want to go back to February of this year. We read it. We covered an article. Actually, I think it was from the. Who was it from? It was a mainstream media source. It wasn't like some Mickey. It was a mainstream media source that was reporting on Japan that in the month of January 2021, more people died of suicide than
Oh, yes.
yeah,
I
more people
remember
died of
that.
suicide in January 2021 than all of 2020 of COVID in Japan.
In Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be surprising.
And more people are
Because they
dying of
have a,
opioids and fentanyls in Vancouver than all of Canada died of COVID.
yeah, well, people are dying of everything else, much more than COVID. And I think that's what they're tracking. You know, I don't think it's the COVID numbers that they care about. I think it's the spillover effects. I think I might have mentioned that earlier. You look at the cancer surgeries. What was it? They were saying just a few weeks ago on the Pagan show, they were saying that if cancer treatment is delayed by, what was it, 2 weeks or so,
2 or 4 weeks,
4 weeks
yeah.
or so, 2 to 4 weeks, then there's a 10% increase in what complications or cancer deaths. You know, there are all of these interesting figures and percentages and connections that you can make between events, you know, like that 1% GDP causes how many people to die,
Mm-hmm.
and the Big Short, I forget, you know, things like that. Well, they've got all of that mapped out, and you're seeing this roll out all over. The suicides, the crime, people losing patience with each other, the depression, the opioids, and the eating disorders. No one's talking about alcoholism. The LCBO was deemed essential.
Yes.
There's probably something going on with that as well. No mention, of course, because the government makes money from this.
Mm-hmm.
And everything else, you know, like every other thing, the economic hardships now. Um, they were looking at children's health this week as part of the mental health week on the PACAN agenda, and these child and teenage psychologists came on, and it's tragic. Like these kids, they're completely clueless. They've lost their friends. They've lost all support. They are completely aimless. They're not sure what's the point of going to school. The online experience has been miserable. Their parents are miserable. The whole house situation is miserable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, homes are turning into battlegrounds. It's so not good. You know, so the kids go for mental health, and the psychologist or whoever, they don't just advise the kids, they advise the parents.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, these people, these mental health professionals are themselves getting drained, so they need help. It's like everyone needs help. You know, everyone's on support.
Mm-hmm.
It's silly and tragic, and they're pushing to normalize drugs. I'm seeing this a lot as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I came across now psychedelics are becoming normalized,
Mm-hmm.
legalized, sorry, in Canada, and they're going to be used for therapy. Go figure.
Didn't they do
And
that in the States in the 60s and a lot of people went nuts?
well, I think that's part of the plan. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't support anyone thinking that marijuana is a good thing. No, there were lots of studies about how bad marijuana is for you. It has a lot of effects on, at least in the very least, memory, cognitive functioning. You know, to say that any drug is safe, you know,
It
this is a
triggers a lot
business,
of
and I think
people
it's pretty
paranoia.
clear this is a business. Yeah, when you can't short your marijuana stock, you should take that as a sign. Okay, just some months ago, Mike, do you remember people who bought marijuana stock in Canada? They couldn't sell, they couldn't short it.
They
It's
weren't allowed
failing
to short it. No,
business.
you weren't. The banks,
Yeah.
basically, they control the
Who
game.
comes up with this rule?
It's like changing the election rules so the guy that's going to win doesn't win.
Oh, people should see that as a sign. It's like the cigarette business came to an end. Now they're gonna tap into other drugs. They run all the drugs, from pharmaceutical to illegal to the stuff going on in Afghanistan and Saudi, all the way to the marijuana business in Canada. It's someone owns it. The research was there. They buried it somewhere, and now they're saying it's a miracle cure. Yeah, Sabbatianism. What's good for you is bad for you. What's bad for you is good for you.
That's what they use our language is like that.
Exactly.
They twist our
And they
language.
sell you not just they don't just adjust it a little bit. No, they sell you the exact opposite. Like the extreme opposite. They go all the way to the other end of the spectrum. That's what they sell you.
Let me ask you something.
yeah.
What do you think about this troop buildup here in the Donbass region there? Lots of reports and video footage and aerial footage and drone footage of a ton of troops.
The Ukraine thing.
Yeah.
Look, Russia's gonna win this. Russia is gonna win this, and like I support the Ukraine people, but I don't support U.S. presence in the region, like
Yeah.
with everything else. So the U.S. operates through the Ukraine. I think people should know that, right? In the same way that the U.S. operates through Saudi and the UAE against Iran,
and
Kuwait. Well, all of the Gulf countries, the GCC. It's the same sort of situation, I think. And I don't think there should be U.S. presence in the region, and I think Russia's going to win this. I don't support harm on the Ukraine people, like I like everything else, like everyone else, but yeah, they shouldn't have like all of these military bases all over the world. That's not welcome anymore, Mike. I think the U.S. should worry more about its people, do something about its people. But yeah, what do you think? What do you think about this, Mike?
I think this may be the prelude to a war. I'm thinking that I'm just throwing rocks here in the dark, but I'm thinking that this just it may trigger something bigger than it should. This will force. Well, obviously Russia is supposedly aligned with China, and supposedly, this could be a big issue because there was a former communist country. Now Russia's more of an economic, semi-socialist communist country, but China's full on communism. They kind of go hand in hand with each other, and it wouldn't surprise me, if Russia gets the support from China if it needs it, to protect maybe some of its southern eastern borders of Russia, China, maybe get some support on that end. I don't know, right? But I'm thinking this might spark another, because remember the First and Second World War was in Europe, right? Predominantly in Europe, and we're looking at, it wouldn't be a surprise if we have a third world war in Europe. Not a surprise at all.
You know what World War II was? It wasn't.
It was all banks.
Like
it was all banking.
Yeah, right.
World War One was the
I
worst. If I ever meet you in person, I'll tell you a World War One story. I have it somewhere. I'll tell you the story, and you'll be like, "Whoa!" I can't even tell. If I tell this on air, I'm dead. Yeah, World War One story. I told it to somebody the other day that was visiting me in person. A nurse from Vancouver General Hospital was on their way to the interior of British Columbia, and they stopped at my store to spend some time and talk about a few things. And I told her this story that I'm not allowed to tell online, and she was floored. She was so floored with it. She's like, I have to come back and talk about this, and I want to write this down. I'm like, well, But anyways.
Oh, it'd be nice to hear it. Mike, a while back, not too long ago, I think towards December or so, in Sweden, they were distributing flyers to the Arab population and I suppose other immigrant populations over there, telling them that they should leave because there could be an imminent catastrophe in Northern Europe. And they've been prepping for a while, the folks up there. And, this can be related to the Ice Age and how it's going to affect northern countries a lot. So Canada, Northern Europe, Northern China, parts of Russia. And so people are going to move south, assuming this story is correct. But what I also think could be happening in Northern Europe, like the Denmark, Sweden, Finland kind of area, is that they have this, they're constantly blaming Russia, for the potential threats. And I have to wonder if that's candid. I think it's maybe something that they use to create an alarmist environment when actually they could be rolling out the climate change agenda. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And there seems to be a depopulation effort over there as well. Um, Denmark, for example, has the highest, lowest level of sperm count, for example, all over the world. They have also a lot of fertility issues there, decline in populations and things like that. And I just from that flyer that someone sent me, which I'm sorry I couldn't get a copy of because it would have been good. They're just telling people to leave, so it's like they're prepping for this major thing, and there's a lot of blame that's directed towards Russia. They also get a lot of their fuel and oil from Russia,
Mm-hmm.
and there could be pipeline issues here again if there are climate change issues, just like what they're doing with Canada. They're turning off the taps, and this is already in the news, Mike. CNN, Fox News, everyone's saying there's going to be gas shortages, propane shortages, among others.
Prepping. They're prepping us so late 3 months down the road. But we told you about this,
Yeah. I mean, you can't tell them no, right? But I think the energy costs are going to go through the roof, and then they're going to usher in the Elon Musk solution, right?
Okay, I got one here I want you to comment on, please. Edmonton woman died after vaccine-induced blood clot was turned away. She was turned away from the ER, friends say. This is from CBC News, so before YouTube wants to shut me down, this is the Canadian broadcast channel who is bought and paid for by the Canadian government. So why are they reporting that? I mean, are they going...
I don't know. Good question. Why are they reporting that? Why in the world are they reporting? I guess they can't hide it. They know that there's only so much that they can hide, so they prefer to come out and say it first before, let's say, Rebel News or someone else, or, Mike Martins comes out and says it, right?
Mhm.
Damage control. It's like they try to be on your side, by taking up these topics that they wouldn't otherwise report on, right? But they're not, they can't hide it. They hide it, then there's more damage control to be done. But they're still pushing the vaccines. Like, they're constantly advising everyone to take the vaccines, and it doesn't matter which one. Like, you'll hear them say over and over, it doesn't matter. And now the science is so advanced, right? You can mix and match your vaccines between the first and second dose. You can take a Pfizer dose 1. Yes. You haven't been following this? Oh man, it's all over.
I don't follow
All of these
crap.
Yeah, all of these moronic health officials, who are on TV now almost every other day, Mike. It's like, they're constantly busying people with this stuff. Now there's the mix and match thing that's coming. It's being tested in the UK, and it looks like the results are good. You can take a Pfizer dose 1 and Moderna dose 2. It's retarded. It's like, just stick whatever in you. That's what they're saying. Just get a jab. It doesn't matter what it is.
Your friend is here, and he's saying Trudeau accuses conservatives of wearing a tinfoil hats in Bill C-10 exchange. So he's really fighting this Bill C-10 tooth and nail. How long do you think, Layla, before Canada implements this and creates an iron curtain to the rest of the world, so the rest of the world has no idea what's happening in Canada? How long till we have an iron curtain in Canada?
Isn't it already passed? So isn't Bill C-10 passed?
I think it's being held back.
Well, if they really meant what they're saying, because now there's a whole fiasco around this, and everyone's blaming the Liberals for their poor PR around Bill C-10, they wouldn't have pulled out that clause where it said that it protects the independent the independent people from uploading and sharing content. But they pulled that clause. Remember, you mentioned it. Folks mentioned it on your show, Mike. People were saying in the comments that clause was pulled out, and now they're coming out and saying that it doesn't affect people's posts And so what do they mean by post? And of course it comes down to their foolish language, which you can twist and turn to anything. And then people are going to sue. They're going to take it to the Supreme Court, and they're going to say, no, Mike Martins is considered a broadcaster. Bill C-10 applies on him,
Mhm.
because they can twist it any way they want. You know what I mean? But if they really meant that, then they wouldn't have pulled that clause. And what the heck is a post? Like a single post? What about a show like Mike Martin's show? Like, for example, every Saturday, 2-3 hours, that will be considered a broadcast. They're gonna, it's just down to their foolish definitions. No, they can't dig themselves out of this.
I got
It is.
a comment here in the comment section. The boy is saying FDA abandoned authorizing this vax. And this ties into the next one I want to ask you about. Mass COVID vaccination sites closing amid falling demand in the United States.
That's interesting. That's a good thing.
It is.
That is a good thing.
But
yeah. So what is he going to do with all of these excess doses? Send them to Canada.
Send them to Canada.
Yeah. Send them to India. Send them to countries in the third world that are so unlucky for not having the vaccine. Yeah. Yeah, that's what they're going to do.
So, U.S. totaled first dose 40% of the. So this is enough for herd immunity. If this thing was real, like let's say this thing is real, and 40% got a vaccine, this should usher in herd immunity. What do you think? I'm not a doctor, but.
Well, that's actually in the news too, Mike. They're saying that the U.S. is losing herd immunity because of that. So there's going to be push-pull now, and then. I don't know what's going to happen. The India variant is going to blow up somehow. Yeah. Fourth wave is coming, Doug Ford is saying.
Oh, Mr. Mobility.
Yeah. Oh, you know what's going on in the U.S., Mike? Basic income is going on in the U.S. That's what's going on in the U.S. Did you catch on?
Apparently somebody, I got an email from someone about that, but it's not for Caucasian people, though.
Yeah, no problem. So they're saying now that you see that job crunch issue. A lot of people are talking about this, like how come there's so much job demand and very few people turning up for a job, and everyone is saying, well, it's this $300 a week that is causing people not to apply for jobs like McDonald's jobs and other restaurant jobs. And McDonald's is even offering $50 for people to just show up at an interview. They're trying to get people to show up.
Yes, they're paying them, and they're offering them like a dozen donuts from Krispy Kreme too. I heard a dozen or 2 dozen donuts and a free pizza from what's that pizza place called? If you show up for the job interview.
That's right. They're offering all of these perks, and even there's like a $500 sign up. So they're saying that there's all of these desperate businesses who are trying to get people on board. I have to say that I'm a bit suspicious of the narrative, but that's what basic income is. That's the goal of basic income, right? And the goal of basic income is to say, well, we don't have enough employees, like in agriculture, yeah, and we're going to bring in the AI. We're going to solve our problems. It's like, we don't have enough employees. What are we going to do? We need to run our businesses. Let's bring in the AI. Of course, that's not for the small business, right? These people are going to, they're going to shut down with this. They can't cope. Silver Report Uncut, this guy, he was saying that he went to a restaurant. I listened to him sometimes because he shares personal stories, which I like because people are on the ground. Like, it matters to me that what's going on with what, people on the ground, not just these numbers that they give you. But he was saying that he went to a restaurant just a few days ago, and there was only one person working in there. It took ages to get anything done. Restaurants were closed, not enough demand to justify opening. Some parts are like that. And so these small businesses, they don't have enough people, and it's too expensive, not enough demand. All of these factors are going to come together, and it's no longer the idea that it's because they're shut down and there are restrictions, but that's because the market isn't picking up after the restrictions are released, are loosened up. So more businesses are gonna follow through now into the bankruptcy issue. So so people are like, yeah, it's basic income, there's already basic income, it's just in a different form. This is basic income, this, the CRB and all of that, this is all basic income. So it's a bit on hold now in Canada. It wasn't in the budget, of course, that's a tactic,
Hmm.
because already it was in the news after she released the budget. They were like, didn't you say you support basic income? Why is basic income not in your budget? And now they're going to make it sound like it's the people asking for it, or it's the
Yeah,
opposition
I know
asking
what you're
for it.
saying. I know what people want lives. People want to
Yeah.
be productive. People don't want to sit at home and watch reruns of Who's the Boss. I want to thank Ricky Ricardo for sending me $9.99. Thank you so much, Ricky Ricardo. Me mandó $10. Muchas gracias. Thank you, Ricky Ricardo, for the $10. Yeah, so here's the problem with this. So let me just throw this out there really quick. Mr. Mobility here, Doug Ford, warns of fourth wave as he calls for tighter border restrictions. They're really, really pushing these border closure with the U.S. And it reminds me of that video I made where we make a comparison of North Korea to Canada, how the southern border's closed, socialized medicine. There's a lot of comparables between, okay, Bill C-10, all this stuff in cutting down on public gatherings.
Yeah.
Canada's becoming more and more like North Korea. And I'm not trying to say this to be a Pinos, but I'm saying this because this is what's happening.
Yeah, you're very right. And I really appreciated the comparison, Mike, because people don't appreciate that it is the same thing. People get, because the Canada brand, for example, if you think about immigrants, for example, they would have a very hard time understanding what you're talking about, because they would see a place like Canada as this place of law and order. It's an orderly place, it's so tidy, so they come from these miserable places in the third world or wars, like in Syria and things like that, and they arrive in Canada, they're like, oh, this is so good, this is so wonderful, and they miss seeing these very fundamental issues that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And even local Canadians don't see it this way either. They're like, our, order and the law and voting and, health experts and all of that. No.
Hold on,
It is a mess.
Hold on,
It's
we got
not
an
good.
update here. Du Bois saying the FDA said on their agency that 1,700 plus employees will not authorize or approve any of the vax, so we can use that for our defense. The FDA chairman said that on live television.
Well, what is that? I didn't get it, Mike. Can you say that again, or maybe tell me what I missed?
He said, Du Bois in the comments said, FDA said their agency and all 1,700 plus employees will not authorize or approve any of the vax, so they can use that for our defense. The FDA chairman said it on live television.
How is it for our defense? Who's our? Who's us?
Yeah, Du Bois, tell us who it is. I think Du Bois commenting out of the United States. So he could give us an update on what's happening, or just call into the show next week and let us know.
Really, now they're gonna not approve the vaccine after how many millions of Americans have been 34 at least?
Mm-hmm.
At least 34 million Americans have had 2 doses.
That's pretty scary.
They're gonna say they don't approve it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, helpful. Good timing.
It's like renegotiating the rules after everything's completed. Like you complete something, you're done, and they go back and say, well, by the way, we're going to change the rule on this and this, so you're not done.
Yeah. No, after they vaccinated 70% of the United States, they're going to say, oh, watch for the side effects down the line, folks. We're going to bring in some new booster shots. Yeah. A lot of people are saying that a few months, or sorry, those fringe doctors, those doctors who are not allowed on the mainstream media, they're saying, there's going to be a lot of deaths and complications several months down the line.
Yeah, it's not right away. You get the major problems are. There was one doctor talking from where was he from? Germany, who was discussing this in very great detail. And I showed the video to my mother and my wife, and we're looking at it, and they're like, "Wow, this is major, 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 major."
Yeah, I mean, time release, if it's time release, it can't be anything. But for example, time release is a very old method, to release medicine. So you take a pill and it doesn't release into the bloodstream until after a while, or it doesn't activate until after a while. This is done in vitamins. There's time release vitamins, vitamin C, D, and all of that. Other meds, hormone type of medicines, all of them have time release technology in them. This is not new at all. You find lots of over-the-counter medicine and vitamins and supplements with time release formulas in them, and this may well be it. But except this time, we're talking on much bigger scales, I think.
Mm.
I think depopulation is the goal. I think it's hard not to see that. With the hundreds of thousands in India now, and I don't know how many millions out of business right now.
Well,
Total chaos.
77,000 businesses in Ontario have closed already.
In Ontario
And that's private
only?
sector, not public. Public sector will go forward. March forward to the government, public sector workers.
Yeah, they've hired a whole lot of these people at the isolation centers and these vaccination sites. Lots of new jobs in the private and the public sector. Mike, 77,000 in Ontario alone.
Just in Ontario alone have closed from this. And that's from our Mr. Mobility expert here, Doug Ford, the king of mobility. In case you forgot what he looks like, there he is right there.
Oh, no, I didn't. Yeah. No, I was there when they voted him in.
Yeah.
People thought he was the Ontario version of Trump.
Mm-hmm.
God help us. God help us. These people who think they're going to vote their way out of this. Yeah, he's a total clown show. I know he's not going anywhere. I know even if he had to, if there was some damage control last week, it's just a clown show.
Mm-hmm. Let me get his picture out here in case you forgot, if anybody forgot what he looked like here. Why is there this gigantic... Why is the Washington Compost always, like, doing this stuff, The Washington Compost. They're always throwing up advertising that blocks the there he is right
especially
there,
on
folks.
Yeah, Dougie.
Yeah, in case you forgot what he looks like, there he is right there. Mr. Mobility.
Now Alberta, Mike, is on a crisis kind of level.
Mm-hmm.
With the highest rates of COVID cases or COVID deaths in all of North America.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike, here's what's interesting. Pipeline XL, Alberta. Enbridge Line 5, Ontario. The two worst hit places in North America. Does that tell you anything?
I think we're connecting the dots too dangerously close, and we're starting to see the final picture here.
I think we've seen the picture a while back, but I mean, the details coming through this time, I think they're on a slightly different level. It's no more case counts and George Floyd dying of COVID. This is these major pipelines shutting down and the Gateses restructuring the North American Railway,
mm-hmm.
which is going to affect the supply chain. This is a supply chain issue, and I think it's going to kick in. And I sent you this, did I send it to you? This foolish CNN article. Like, they just say it, they say the words now. That's it. Now we're moving into the programming phase.
But
Supply
Layla,
chain interrupted.
Layla.
That's the words that they used.
They're going to tell us right to our face now, and nobody's going to give a damn anymore. That's
right.
the problem.
That's right. Exactly. Because people are sedated. Now Ontario, that's it. They told you the military is everywhere now. That's it. We're done. They're at checkpoints. They're at the borders of Ontario. They're probably at the borders of cities, but they're not saying this. And then the locals are like, oh, it's just here. Oh, okay, it's just here. Well, how'd you tell, the local here hears it from another place, it doesn't affect us, and then vice versa. So people don't know that it's happening all over the place, in fact. They're setting up the tents and the whatever they are, outside of hospitals. And they're the ones who did the investigation into long-term care homes anyway. So, and, even a while back, you've had articles about people saying, well, where's the military? Why is this a mess? Why is this chaotic? I've seen this in the news, people being interviewed.
Yeah, 97. Yeah, remember when I was so angry that day? I said 97% of Canadians want the military, and 97% of Canadians say this, and 97%. Who are these 97% Canadians?
Yeah, it's like the 97% Canadians who want a vaccine passport.
Woo!
These Nanos, Ipsos, and all of these fake polls. They're fake. They're all fake.
Woo!
Yeah, like you were saying, Mike, that's it. People are sedated. It's like, it's now You know, they're used to it, so it's not a shocker. So they're not going to do anything about it. You know, lots of learned helplessness.
Mhm.
You know, these are major psychological experiments. The Milgram, for example, the Milgram experiment, the learned helplessness, the
Yes,
conditioning.
I
All of
totally
this has
remember
been
that.
mastered way, way back. This was,
In the
you know, what
40s,
this
right?
was 60s. 60s, the Milgram was after World War II.
Yeah, in the
So
40s,
the
late
Milgram
40s, yeah.
experiments. Yeah, it was about the Hitler, the evil, and how people partake in evil without questioning.
Mhm.
These were the Milgram. Of course, you know, Milgram is, you know, these are major experiments. They're part of the agenda. You know, these are past MK Ultra, you know. This is way back. No, they have a lot under their belt. I'm not worried about them sedating so many people. At the same time, a lot of people are waking up, you know, Mike. A lot of people are annoyed and pissed off, and there are protests in many parts of the world and
Well,
in
the whole world
Canada.
was in protest, and then COVID showed up. We had the Gilets de Jaunes in France, the Yellow Vest movement. You
That's
had
right.
the massive, and you had a Black Vest movement too in France. A lot of people didn't know about that.
That is right.
Then you had the uprising in Hong Kong, the massive protests for 50 weeks straight. Then you had Brazil and South America. All of South America was pretty much in an uproar. You had all
Yeah, and
Lebanon,
Lebanon.
and Lebanon
Yeah.
was in protest. You had parts of Russia in protest. You had parts of Europe, other parts outside of France in protest. It was a nightmare protest all over the world. The world in 2019 was like standing up, you know, to this and that and affordability, blah, blah, blah. And then boom, what a convenience
Yep.
for COVID.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And now they're going to play the cyber attack card. Now they're working on that. Let's not say that they didn't tell us. Klaus Thingy, Schwab, he's like, much bigger than COVID is going to be a cyber attack. And, you know, it's amazing. There's always a cyber attack somewhere, but you never know who does it. Russia says it's the US says it's Russia says it's China says it's the US
But how
US
come
says
it
it's
can't be
China.
Puerto Rico and let's say Puerto Rico and Nicaragua doing it? Like it's always the same boogeymen.
Right. Yeah, I wish they would tell us who are these people that are, you know, cyber attacking all of these systems. It's like they never catch them,
Yeah.
you know, because because they're the ones who do it. And you know,
The
all
Mexican
of
government.
these data leaks,
Mm-hmm.
they're the ones who do it, and they're just transferring data,
I love China.
you know,
All right,
these data
Layla.
leaks, this
It's-
Facebook breach, this Google breach, and yes, Nick.
It's 50 minutes now. We've been talking for 50 minutes. I'm gonna.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we've been
Excellent.
talking for a long time, and I'm rolling into my third hour, so I'm gonna wrap things up here.
Okay.
And I appreciate you coming
Sure.
on and filling this in. We're gonna see if we can get Supreme Cannon on next week to talk about the next week. Get him to come in. He didn't come in the chat today, so hopefully we get Supreme Cannon on next week if he's talking about the lumber because he works or he owns a lumber mill, so he could tell us what's going
good
on.
idea. Yeah, good thing you got the Raven in though, Mike. It was a while.
Yeah, the Raven. Yeah, he was working last week. That's why. But I gotta get it.
Okay.
I gotta get him on live with the video. His beard looks awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, thanks, Mike. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Layla. God bless you.
God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.
That is Layla coming on the show from Egypt. And I don't think she's returning to Canada. She lived in Toronto for a good bit, and I don't think she's interested in moving to Canada. Guys, I'm just going to throw this out there. There's one plug. Guys, can you please go and support the Mike in the Night Amerifornia Tour 2021. Robert Keegan, Lord Humongous from the channel, will be going across America and, you know, talking to the common folk and doing updates and coming on live on the show. And he's going to make some videos for his channel to show the updates on his van and what he's got going on. And he's going to do a tour across Canada, Amerifornia Tour 2021. Please support the cause. If you don't mind, I'm going to go on my PayPal right now and send him some coin. I'm actually going to put this link in under my description so people could see that too under the description. And hopefully he could raise the funds he needs to do a Cross America tour, a Amerifornia tour, and go from there. And yeah, I appreciate it, guys. You know what time it is. Get the music rolling. Guys, don't forget to check artbydano.com. Check out his new releases. I'll give you my Instagram if you need to message me. Message me on Instagram. Amerifornia t-shirts in Teespring. Next week's show. Set your reminders. Set your reminders for next week's show. Wednesday show, don't forget. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I want to get to 14,000 subscribers by Christmas. I'm at 13,900. I usually get 1 subscriber, 2 subscribers a month. So hopefully I could get to 14,000 subscribers by Christmas of 2021. Good night, Peter O'Brien, Lord Humongous. Good News Bear. Anna Key. Blunt News. The Raven. Layla. T. Lawton. Kyrie Shredder. Scott Horeka. Mitch Madden will say a prayer for you and your mom tonight. Donaire is here tonight. The boy is in town. The boy is here tonight. Johnny Boy Silver is in the house. Margio, V-Man 293. Blunt News. Thanks for the super chat, guys. Spider Jerusalem. That's Jacob. All right, guys. Mike Martin's here signing off. Take care, and if you can't take care, please